to the Sports Showcase event on Hartford TV. I am Ray Hrues here with my broadcast partner Patrick Sears. We are at Patterson Mill High School for a baseball match between the host Patterson Mill Huskies and the visiting Bel Air Bobcats. Currently, Patterson Mill is coached with Matt Roseland. This is his 16th year. His assistant coaches are Bill Benson, and Joe Marable. And on the other side here, we have Bel Air, coached by John Andrews. I have it as his 4th year. And then I have Russ Myers and Greg Giordano as his assistant coaches. Patrick, welcome to the broadcast, and what are your thoughts about this matchup?
Thanks for having me. I think you're going to see two of the better teams in Hartford County, and looking forward. It's a great day out here.
So for those of you that don't know Patrick, Pat's been at Patterson Mill, so this is a weird thing for him. I think you said you teach at Bel Air Middle School.
Teach at Bel Air Middle.
So you probably know half of these boys, if not more, on the Bel Air squad.
That's correct.
And then you know probably almost everybody on the Patterson Mill squad.
You are correct. It's a unique perspective, that's for sure.
Well, you're my third color commentator that had ties to both teams, and it's a weird dynamic. But
it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
So what I have here, Pat, is Patterson Mill. They had a pretty good season last year. They went 13-11, and they won the regional title. And I think we said that they lost a heartbreaker in the next round after that.
Yes, we had to visit Snow Hill after winning the region, and it was an extremely hot Saturday afternoon. The home plate umpire actually went down. It was so hot, and we had the lead up until about the 4th inning, and it was a tough heartbreaker there.
So we also had the same for Bel Air. They had a good year last year, and they were 14-8, and they won their regionals as well. And they lost the round right after winning regionals.
Yeah, and I talked to Coach, and his heartbreaker was a little bit more than ours because he lost to Thomas Johnson on a suicide squeeze in the 7th inning with 1 out. So.
Oh my gosh! So we have our first batter here, Will Carrier, coming up for Bel Air. He's a senior and he's our shortstop. And on the mound for Patterson Mill, I think we have
Michael Hummelt.
Michael Hummelt, there he is. Yes.
Left-handed pitcher, very solid left-handed pitcher.
So how many of these? How often do you have the fortune of having a nice left-handed and right-handed lineup, pitching staff? I mean,
actually, coaching 15 years, Patterson Mill has had a bunch of left-handed pitchers, and it really helps as there's a fly ball to center field.
Wow, that's a deep fly ball. Yes. So that ball was brought in very well by our center fielder. I think that's Aiden
Myers.
Yeah. I'll tell you, that's another tough thing that people don't get about sports is dealing with the sun. I was a wimp and just went to the store and bought myself sunglasses just to commentate a game. Now they have these flip glasses. Do any of these high school players use them like the pros do?
You can see some out there with their sunglasses on their hat. So unfortunately, the right side of the field here is very difficult with the sun.
Okay.
So you'll notice, if there's any, especially right fielders, cloud cover is not very cloudy today, so just partly cloudy.
So we have John Wilhide, a senior first baseman for Bel Air, is up with 1 out, nobody on.
And he's going to be attending Penn State Harrisburg next year.
Wow. A little low inside there.
2-1 count.
2-1 count here.
He's going to have to come to him. Get a strike here.
Yeah, this is a big pitch. You don't want to go 3-1. Hard foul ball to the right side. So I see that Bel Air has a nice mix of seniors and juniors largely on the team. Few sophomores.
Yeah, they're in a unique perspective compared to Patterson Mill with a 1A school versus a 3A. You'll notice.
Yeah, that was.
It's a great pitch.
Great pitch there.
Outside corner. But again, to piggyback off that, Patterson Mill and the younger school, the smaller schools rely on their freshmen and sophomores.
Yes.
Much more than some of the bigger schools. So you'll see a lot mixed throughout.
Talon Johns is up right now, junior. He's our left fielder. You're exactly right. I've just done some other sports recently, and we had Falston, Patterson Mill, Hartford Tech, Havre de Grace. And yes, on those rosters, you see sophomores and sometimes freshmen. And when you see the bigger schools, they're more fortunate to have the depth to keep them on JV for at least a year, and get them ready for the varsity.
Yeah, it's a tough transition. I did not have the opportunity to coach the catcher here, Trey McInnes, but as a freshman, you grow up pretty fast on varsity.
Yep. Bounce that one in there a little bit.
Yeah, curveball. 2-1 count. Look for Mike to come back. Probably throw a strike here. So
did you ever pitch, Pat?
I did actually. I went to Frostburg.
So does it take you a little while to find it sometime? You don't have it in the bullpen warming up and you get it later, or you sometimes come out of your warm-up pitches going, man, everything's working right now?
Well, that's the unique part about pitching. You might have a great feel for it in the bullpen, and then you get out there and you just don't have it, or vice versa. Cold days really...
Ball four?
It's not cold today, but it is a little chillier than it has been last week, so there might be a little feel issue. There's 2 outs now.
Yeah, we got a man on first here with 2 outs, and Cam Devine, sophomore third baseman, coming up.
And you got to watch here because he is a lefty and he has a very good pickoff move.
Okay.
So you'll notice the runner. You'll notice the runner has a small lead because Coach Andrews knows, I believe.
A lot of people love just the home run ball and this and that. I'm a big fan of the running game when it's appropriate. But you're right. I mean, that's a really tough situation here. He got him. Oh, my. That was close. That was a good move.
Yeah, he just barely got in there. Sliding to the back of the bag. It's good fundamentals. If he's going to steal, he's probably going to have to go first movement because Mike is very good.
Foul ball left side, keeping the managers and scorekeepers alive over there. I'm liking where we're at here, Pat. I mean, I'm not right behind the plate where I'm going to flinch every time there's a foul ball coming. Myself and Barb Solberg doing the softball game, we were like, Barb, I'm not going to flinch too much, and then I did. Of course I did. Oh, nice pitch.
1-2 count.
Yeah, that was a little high inside there, and that's hard to catch up with, isn't it?
This is probably the pitch where you're running here. Just if you get thrown out, you have the number 4 hitter up.
Yeah, I like that strategy. High.
Curveball high.
2-2 count here.
Probably would have liked to bury that in the dirt a little bit. See what happens here.
You know this young man on the mound.
Yes.
Does he have a pretty good repertoire of pitches that you know of? Or is it common for high schoolers to only have 2?
Mainly fastball, curveball, throw some change-ups.
Right.
Again, haven't seen him this year, so this is great. It's awesome I get to see him. He's actually coming off being sick, so his pitch count hasn't been built up for a couple weeks, so it'll be interesting to see how long Coach goes with him for.
And there are rules about that, with how many pitches they can throw. Once they've pitched X amount of pitches, they can't pitch for 1, 2, or 3 or 4 days.
Correct. You throw 105. If it's Monday, you throw 105 pitches. You can no longer pitch the rest of the week. So he's got to make a decision around 60, whether he wants to try to bring him back this week, and that's really dependent on how well he's pitching as well.
Right.
2-2 count here.
So we're going to go full. So the runner will be moving now. But you still have to watch out with a left-handed pitcher.
This is tricky here.
I've seen people say, oh, it's a 3-2 count, 2 outs. I'm getting a good lead, and man, you're back in the dugout.
I'm going to say there's a 50-50 guess he's throwing over. We'll see. Well, going home.
Oh, man, he got in the chase. So that was a good, 2 of his strikeouts, he seemed to get people in a high pitch.
Yeah, that high fastball is tough to lay off right at your eyes.
So we'll have Ben Bowen leading off next inning. So now we're going to, let's see the replay here if we can on this. Nice vantage point here. Just so tempting. Yeah, so
and the runner got a late jump too, being at first. We talked a little bit about having left-handed pitchers. We've been very lucky when I was coaching here at Patterson Mill to have a bunch of lefties. You can really hold that running game. So now I think it's Cole Saxon who's going to be on the mound for the Bobcats.
His battery mate is Ben Sellers. I know Ben's family. His dad, Keith, is a longtime baseball man and soccer. So we had nobody got a hit that inning. We had one walk is all we had.
No hits, one walk, two
left.
strikeouts, right? Fly ball to center field.
That was a pretty well struck ball to center field.
That was pretty well struck. That's about what I was going to say.
So to continue on that conversation, because I love educating the fans, the 105 can't pitch the rest of that week. What's the next lowest? If you pitch 60 or whatever above, can you come back in 3 days, 4 days?
You were putting me on the spot here. If you go 30 pitch, over 30 pitches is 1 day's rest.
Okay.
So if you pitch under 30 or 30 and under 30, you get to come back tomorrow.
Okay.
So anybody who's probably pitching today is going to go over that unless they're a relief pitcher.
Right.
And usually you play Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you really got to map it out.
Okay.
If there's a rain out, obviously you're going to play 4 some week, and then you're really rolling the dice if you don't have a good pitching staff.
Right.
So then after 45 pitches, I believe, it is 2 days rest. 60 pitches would be 3 days rest. 75 would be 4 days, and then after that. So the max you can throw today is 105. And if you're in the middle of a batter at 105, you can finish that batter, but then you must be taken out.
Okay. Now, I would imagine they can accumulate too. So if relief pitcher comes in and pitches 25 pitches on Monday and 20 pitches on Tuesday, are they then not allowed to pitch on Wednesday?
No, they still. It's that day.
Wow,
so
that's
so you
surprising.
Could, if you have a good relief pitcher, I unfortunately had never had that where you had like a little closer, but
right. So we have Travis Lowy coming up to the bat here, and he is our junior, and I think he's in where we got him in the field. Is he
probably a third base?
Yeah, I think he's our third baseman. A nice
ground ball back to the
right
pitcher.
Back to the pitcher. Calmly waited for his first baseman to get set.
Yeah, he had himself in a good fielding position.
Well, that's a scary thing there. Pitching and some of the line drives you see come up the middle. My dad was an outstanding baseball player, and in his retired years and even younger, he started playing senior softball, and I'm proud to say he's in the National Hall of Fame. He took more off his shins.
Oh, I got some bruises still from back pitching.
He asked me if he could borrow my soccer shin pads to put under his uniform. So now we have Aiden Meyer coming up.
Yeah, and if you saw Travis Lowy walked over to Aiden Meyer on the way back, tried to talk to him about the pitcher.
Oh, okay, interesting. I just read an article about that and the pros and how they have the information sharing.
Well, they have the ability to have some of those iPads or it's on the ground. Aiden is fast.
Beat that out.
Yeah, Aiden is very fast.
I'm assuming that's going to be an error, but
that's a tough play, though.
Yeah. Now, did you think the way that ball came that he had a chance to come in a half a step and get that out of the air?
He had to make a quick decision. If he was going to go get it, he had to, and probably would have had to dive. That's a tough hit.
So now we're going to see with a right-handed pitcher with Jackson Wheeler coming up. Does Aiden run? You said he's fast, so it'd be interesting to see.
Coach Rosen likes small ball, so you talked about that earlier.
And strike one.
Would not be surprised to see something in motion here in the next 2 pitches.
Mm-hmm.
If he thinks a curveball is coming, it's a great opportunity to run on. Pitcher's doing a great job holding. Great job, Cole. Holding. That would not be allowed in Major League Baseball right now. That would be the pitch clock.
Right, and that's.
But that is great. As a pitcher, being able to hold the runner.
Are you a fan of the pitch clock?
As a pitcher, no. No, I'm not a fan of it. But as a fan and a father of 3 girls that have attention span that are very short when we go to games, it is. If it brings more fans, I am 100% for it. And he had him leaning.
So are you saying that, like me with my children, you had to use many snack break bribes to get them through a whole 3-hour and 30-minute game?
My wife is greatly appreciated at baseball games so that I can focus in. Mine are getting old enough now. There he goes, runner.
Oh.
Curveball in the dirt.
Now that's in the
and
dirt.
He's calling a foul ball.
Yeah. He must have just barely got a little piece of that, where that ball hopped up.
Yeah. Might have been a hit and run there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to get the runners moving. I'm definitely a fan of moving on the base. I mean, I know you have that risk of the line out double play sometimes in the game, but.
Yeah, and you'll notice Coach Roseland, he calls out numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So some coaches go through signs the old traditional way. And Aiden Myers has a huge lead at first right now.
Yes, he does.
He must have stepped off, called timeout. But he goes through numbers, so it is virtually impossible to steal signs because he just gives out a series of 3 numbers.
He's gone.
And Aiden is running.
Foul
tip, but he caught it, so he
He's
can
safe, yes.
advance.
So we have a strikeout on the batter. That was Jackson Wheeler. And now we're going to.
This brings up the freshman.
Yeah, that's so impressive.
Trey McInnes.
I mean, 2 outs, man on second base. Like to see him get something through the infield here. You said the runner on second base. Aiden's very fast, so you would think any single he scores on.
Infielder's got to get dirty. Make sure it doesn't get to the outfield.
That's a well-struck ball, just
That's
down the foul line.
Umpire's park down there. That might have got one of the cars.
Yeah, I parked as far to the left as I could to avoid a foul ball in my new car.
I'll tell you what, I've never seen Trey hit. I've been following a little bit, but this is my first time seeing him. That was a very good piece of contact for a freshman right there.
So speaking of umpiring, our umpires today are Danny Pierce behind the plate and Chris Boyle. A lot of respect for anybody that referees or umps in any sport. It's a thankless job in many ways. You'd be right 95% of the time, but you're wrong 90% of the time to somebody, right?
Absolutely.
It's a little high pitch there.
Well, typically if both, we don't hear anything, we haven't seen it, we haven't made anything said about the umpire, so that's a good day so far for them.
Right.
But like you said, I mean, they got to make, especially that home plate umpire, what, 250 calls a game, maybe more. That's a good pitch. Outside corner, curveball.
Kind of froze him there a little bit on that one, didn't it?
2-2 count. Need some contact here. Cole's looking for the strikeout.
Nice struck ball. Take it himself.
It's a good play.
Yeah.
Good little tricky hop.
So our first baseman there, John Wilhide, made a nice play there to stop that.
So we calling that Aiden Myers a hit or an error? What did we decide there?
Without having an official score, I was generous.
Gave him a hit?
Yes.
I agree. I think that would have been a tough call.
So I'm recording because they don't want to have to walk up here. Mike's at 20 and Cole's at 13. You want this every inning?
So got some nice volunteers feeding us some information on the pitchers.
Yes, we had a little talk about how many pitches each kid throws and how important that is. And right now, Mike Hemmel is at 20 pitches. Cole Saxon's at 13 after 1 inning. And you can pretty much just do the math. Maximum is 105 if you're going to go the limit. And see that Cole's in a good position compared to Mike for completing a game.
So we have here coming up for Bel Air, leading off is Ben Bowen. He's a junior. He's our second baseman in the game. Like I said, we have...
He's the team captain.
Oh,
and the
great.
top golfer in Bel Air golf team.
Well, a nice, good baseball natural swing that bodes well in some ways for golf. But I've heard in other ways...
Could be tricky, too,
yes.
A little bit different swing path.
Yes. Well, because in golf, you're supposed to have a nice, smooth swing to let the club do the work. You don't have to muscle it with today's equipment, but yes, you want the same in baseball. You want a nice, level swing. But what do you think about the swings that some of these players do? Like in pros, they're swinging up more for driving the ball in the air. Yeah. I like a level swing, and I'm a little bit more old school.
Well, you know, the Moneyball philosophy is now morphed into finding guys that are going to make hard contact.
Right.
And we don't want double play balls, so ground balls aren't quite what they used to be, even though you know, preaching for at Patterson Mill, we want hard contact line drives.
Yeah.
Power ground balls. We got a 2-0 count now.
Yeah, we don't usually
Mike's
have
falling behind.
reasonable fences in high school ball to hit the ball out of the park. No, you know, I mean.
Yeah, well, Bel Air actually does.
And as soon as I say that,
that's going to go over his head.
He
possibly.
circled that a little bit, so it's an easy double.
Yeah, the wind played a little trick on that.
So Ben Bowen hits a nice line drive now.
That's his 5th double.
I'm trying to see where that went, like sun-wise. Now the sun's over that way, so. But they say the hardest ball to field is the one right at you or right over your head.
Yeah, right over the head is definitely the toughest, especially line drive. There's a little bit of a fly ball, but looked like it was going to be over his head, and the wind did catch it a little bit.
So how much you know about Bel Air's style? I mean, man on second, some people's philosophy is you have 3 batters to get a hit and bring them in. Others are, let's get them to third base and get them in.
I think you, too, got to think about, is it going to be a high-scoring game? Or
right.
is
and where you're on the lineup, too.
Yeah. Well, we're in the 6th spot, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, the bottom of the lineup, if you're going to bunt them over, get them in, then you got to have somebody that can make some contact. Because the infield's probably coming in if Coach Roseland thinks it's going to be a 1-run game. We're 2-0 again, though. Mike's falling behind hitters here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that
it's a great call for the catcher to go out and start talking to him.
Definitely. Now, what are the in high school ball, is there a limit about the amount of times catchers can go out or coaches?
Coaches only.
Okay.
Coaches only. After the 3rd trip, unless it's changed, after the 3rd trip, they're going to have to start. So you can do 3 in 1 inning.
Wow.
But after that, you're going to
have to make a move.
Have to make moves. Again, 2-0 count. He's probably going to get a good pitch to hit.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he'll get the green light here, but with him throwing a little bit wild lately, he might want to take. We'll see. Swung at a little bit of a high one at his chest there, but.
I do like being aggressive, though, 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get the runner in.
Well, your base runner is probably going on anything contact to the right side.
Anything in front. He's got a. Here we go, bunt now. They're just talking about the bunt. So he gave him a chance. He gave him a chance to swing away.
Mm-hmm.
And then with 1 strike, went for the bunt. Now a 2-2 count. You take the bunt off.
So this is Ethan Smedley at the plate. He's our right fielder, and he's a junior.
And we talked about me teaching some kids. Some of these kids that I've taught, you know, I wouldn't even recognize them because they've grown up so much. Again, high fastball.
Strikeout. Yeah.
His strikeouts on high fastballs.
Yeah, he's getting helped out a little bit here, but that was a 2-strike count,
yeah,
so it's
he's
tougher.
He's got to protect the plate.
Yes. But the pitcher's been smart with that. 3 high strikeouts with 2-strike count.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay, 1 down here in the top of the 2nd inning, folks.
Ian Nitz.
He was looking at it too.
Oh,
throw behind him.
Oh, he would have had him.
It was there.
I think he had him.
That was a great throw by.
Runner got in his way a little bit and slid, and not sure if that.
That was a good arm there by Trey McGinnis.
Yeah, freshman.
Yeah, man, that's one of the tough positions to play in sports, catcher.
Yeah, I would not do that.
My wife was a fantastic high school and college catcher and first baseman, and
you get beat up. I
don't know how she handled it. My knees wouldn't have taken it.
As a pitcher, it's your best friend, though.
Yes.
And the other thing, he bunted on the first. He bunted, right? You said he squared.
Yeah.
That's a tough play as a base runner, and when you square and actually bunt through. As a catcher, you automatically think as soon as it's bunt through, you have to throw behind because that runner is thinking that he's going to get the ball down.
Foul ball.
1 and 2 count.
That was a good job fighting that one off. Yeah, I have no idea what a high school pitcher generally throws, speed-wise. We don't have the luxury of having a speed gun here, folks, but that looked like a pretty hard pitch. And he got him like a little bit, jammed him, got him a little bit inside.
I believe Mike throws mid-80s. Cole's probably similar.
Okay.
Maybe slightly lower than that.
Strikeout. So
His 4th strikeout, right?
So I omitted saying that was Ethan Nitz DHing for the pitcher, and Ethan is a junior.
State championship wrestler.
Wow. Yeah, I remembered. I announced the wrestling championships. I remembered him. It's impressive.
This is Ben Sellers, correct? Catcher.
Yeah.
He also plays soccer.
Yeah, he's a well-rounded athlete. I love to see 2 or 3 sport athletes.
Not shocking, his favorite baseball player is Adley Rutschman, who is on a roll right now.
Yes, he is. Tell you my favorite thing about Adley, and I won't talk about pros too much, is such good at bats.
Yeah,
like
he's a professional hitter.
He swings at good pitches, and he fouls off borderline pitches, and
2-0 count.
Probably hard to get that in a high school player. That's a nice hit ball. Is that over his head too?
That's going to
yes,
score
it
a run.
is. Run scores. He's going to hold up at second. That was Ben Sellers with a double and an RBI. Ben Bowen scored a run.
And according to the notes, that's his 2nd RBI of the year.
Now, I put my head down, look at my scorecard. How did he get to 3rd there? Did they throw to the wrong cutoff man or something? Because he was slowing up at 2nd.
Yeah,
They fumbled the relay in a little bit.
Yeah, I missed that as well.
So they're doing a courtesy runner for...
courtesy runner for the catcher.
And that looks like that's
Nate
number 24, Nate Farrell.
Yep. Who has 6 stolen bases. Not that that's going to really help here. But there is some good speed if the ball does go in the dirt. There's not much room here behind the plate here at Patterson Mill. So it's got to kick pretty wide for you to be able to score from 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking about that at the softball game. They had a slightly deeper backstop. I would imagine most high school backstops are fairly close to the plate.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is probably one of the closer ones, though.
Mm-hmm.
North Hartford, this is very similar. Most you don't have a chance. I mean, it's an automatic move up on a base. This is not one of those places. Got a
Batter
0-2
call
count
time.
here. I believe this is Jalen
Yes,
D'Amico.
yeah, this is Jalen D'Amico, and he's a center fielder, a senior. I would imagine certain positions make me automatically think speed. So you really want a speedy person in center field.
Yeah, in the bottom lineup.
And
he plays football as well. That's what he wants to do in college.
okay, nice pickup by the pitcher there. Get out of that situation.
Beller takes the lead 1-0 after.
Yeah, 1-0 at the end of
Inning and a
the
half.
inning and a half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
On 2 doubles. Advancing 3rd on the mistake.
Yeah, you like to pick up that runner on 3rd base, but that was a good job getting the pitcher there to make the batter swing at his pitch. Cole made him chase a pitch he didn't want to, and he just nubbed it back to him. So leading off the bottom of the 2nd inning here, down 1-0, is our pitcher, Michael Hummel.
Yeah, he throws left-handed, bats right.
That's interesting. So that last inning, we had two doubles.
And he's throwing 38 pitches, so keeping an eye on that pitch count for Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the middle of the order. Mike's batting in the 5th spot.
Now, I would imagine lineups play mostly the same during the year, but then you maybe adjust them based on the pitcher being left-handed or right-handed sometimes?
Probably not here
No?
in high school.
Oh,
You're probably
okay.
just batting the your best 9 plus. If somebody's hot at the plate, you might move them up or move them down
Mhm.
if they're struggling.
I just meant, like, if somebody's left-handed batter, you might have them batting lower in the lineup if they're facing a lefty, but they're maybe a little higher if they're facing a righty, or is that just hitters in high school are good?
Yeah, I mean, there might be a few that are. Oh, there's a hit by pitch. It was on a curveball.
Okay. So our pitcher hitting the pitcher here.
Yeah. And now we got a courtesy runner, number 22.
Yeah, that would be Drew Szymanski.
Junior.
Yeah, I only played 2 years of baseball, Pat. I would have been my favorite part of the game is just being a courtesy runner.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as easy as it looks, though, sometimes. You got some tough reads.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there's a line drive right here, he's going to have to make a quick decision, obviously back on a line drive to read.
That's a possible double play ball, but
he's moving down the line.
Lead it out. So I want to say you probably want to have him charge that ball because that was pretty slow hit, too.
Yeah.
He was only going to get one out of that with the slowness of that ground ball.
Yeah,
that was Chase Jahusky, who reached on the ground ball to second baseman. So now where you say he likes little ball,
yeah,
you know, we got Ethan Schertzer up here, our second baseman. Do you want him to move runners over second and third?
Again, that's what you think the bottom of the lineup. He's definitely calling a lot of signals here. So
right.
9 times out of 10, that probably means he's going to be doing something, whether it's moving the runners.
Mm-hmm.
They might be a.
Now, one thing that's hard about this is the pitcher has been throwing a lot of high pitches, so that's hard to bunt.
Yes,
so you got to lay off of that. You don't want to pop it up with people moving.
Yeah, I taught the kids, you know, if you see a bunt and you're throwing a fastball, you want a high fastball.
Mm-hmm.
That's the toughest pitch to bunt.
Yeah, another high pitch, but good patience by our batter, Ethan.
Yeah, 2-0 count now. You might take the bunt off. The right side of the infield.
Yeah, if he could slap the ball.
Is wide open here.
Up and now to play here.
Now it's 2-1. Will he put the bunt back on? You know, if you can get the runners over with 1 out, you don't need a base hit. Fly ball scores, ground ball to the middle, scores a run. So preaching getting the runners over here.
Mm-hmm. That's a fly ball, and it is going to be in fair play. It's a tough ball.
Infield fly.
That was a great job by our second baseman, Ben Bowen, calling off the first baseman. He had a slightly better angle there.
Yeah, very, very good triangle work. Second baseman usually supersedes the first baseman, and then if the right fielder comes in, they'll call off both of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now 1 out, first and second. Now you're going to need probably a base hit here unless there's a wild pitcher still on base.
Pitcher's been stepping off a little bit here. We got our DH Sam Lever here. That's a tough ball. That's going to be a base hit.
Yeah.
You got to eat that one.
I do like the shortstop fake the throw, maybe catch the guy around in third.
So now we got our number 9 batter, Corey Gibson, our left fielder, junior, coming up for the first time.
Bases loaded.
Bases loaded. So interesting to see what kind of an eye he has. We talked about Adley Rutschman. He's done 2 walks this year already with the bases loaded.
I would not be surprised if he does a safety squeeze.
Nice swing, nice pitch.
With a strike here.
Well, you know this team's tendencies, Pat, so I'll be excited to see if they were willing to do that. My family gets mad at me when I'm always calling for the bunt when we go to the Orioles.
It has to be a good bunt, though, with the bases loaded. So
yes.
That is one situation that it makes it a little more challenging. If there's just a runner on third, coach feels pretty good about him making contact.
I'm usually calling for the first and second, nobody out, bunt on the third.
Well, now there's two strikes. So.
Yeah, this is exactly. And then my wife and son are always like, Dad, you want to bunt all the time? I'm like, no, I like to put people in scoring position so you can get them out, get them in with an out.
That was
a nice pitch. Yeah, that is his go-to 2-strike pitch for sure, Pat. He loves to get that high fastball.
Both pitchers, Cole and Mike, 2-strike high fastball has been very successful. Very
So-
tough pitch. Now we got the leadoff
Top of the
batter.
order here, we
Yeah.
got Travis Lowy coming back up again, and he had a ground out last at bat. So really important time here to bring him
Great
in.
first pitch, curveball for a strike.
Really
keep
like to see the pitcher bear down like that. You know, he's struggling a little bit, but he gave 2 of the balls this inning were very weak ground balls.
Yeah, everything was in the infield, right?
Yeah. A little bit of bad luck in sports sometimes. So we'll see what our leadoff batter here can do. That's
Oh.
a well hit ball, but let's
That's
see if
right
he
at him,
judges it right.
no. That's
Yeah.
a good. That actually was. We talked about earlier. Line drive, one of the toughest balls to catch in the outfield.
Yeah, that was a well hit ball, and Jalen D'Amico really was patient on that. I initially thought it had a little bit more carry to it.
I thought it was going to be up the middle in front of him, so it did carry.
So we are at the.
Got it. Thank you. Nope, you're good. I got game changer. We're good. Thank you.
So we are at the bottom of the second inning here, folks, and it is a 1-0 lead for Bel Air.
Yeah, an update on pitch count here. Mike's at 38, Cole Saxon's at 27.
Okay.
So even though he had the bases loaded, he really didn't throw that many pitches.
No.
He talked about a little bad luck, tough luck.
Yeah. 3 infield balls, and 2 of them found they were too slow, and 1 was a error. So we have our leadoff hitter for Bel Air coming up now, too, Will Carrier. He had a pretty long fly out that first time. He started the game off with a really deep fly ball.
He's batting 375 before the game. He's also their leading pitcher. Most innings. The 2.53 ERA.
Wow.
He's been on the Bobcat team for 4 years, all 4 years. Mike's got to keep his pitch count down now. He's got to get ahead of some hitters.
Yeah, he could use a quick inning here for sure.
Way to lay off. It's a good eye by Will.
But if he wants to keep his pitch count down, Pat, he has to challenge the hitters a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody likes to strike out like they like the home run, but I love watching a pitcher let your defense do the work and put ground balls on the ground. Saves your pitch count.
And he should get a good pitch to hit here, 2-0.
And got under it.
And we talked about
Let's
Sun.
see if there's a Sun problem here.
Chase.
Yeah, that was our
Trowski.
right fielder. Chase, yeah, that was a good catch. So both times Will got under a pitch and drove it to the outfield.
Yeah, he got the first one much better than that
Yes.
one. Good hard contact the first time. That was.
So we got John Wilhide coming up, our first baseman. Okay, foul ball,
And
almost got the on-deck batter.
So you got to pay attention for sure.
Now, I know there's a science to where they put on-deck spots, but
Last time he struck out, so he's gonna
Yeah.
be making some contact. Just off the
High.
plate, fastball, just off the plate. It's a good call.
beautiful day out here, folks. It's very comfortable.
You coaching high school baseball. I mean, half your season sometimes is freezing cold weather. So
Yes.
actually, I'm kind of lucky. That's a good curveball over the middle. I mean, excuse
Yeah,
me,
he
inner
just-
half of the plate. Looks like it just caught the inside
Yeah,
corner.
1-2 count here. Looks like, according to our
Well-
flags, we have a wind going from left to right here. Yeah, I
There's
think
that
he
high
might have went
fastball.
on that one.
High fastball again.
Yeah, they're calling that. Did not check his swing. So we got 2 outs here. And we have Talon Johns coming up. He had
Left
a-
on left matchup.
He had a walk last at bat. So he showed some patience. See if he can get a 2-out rally going here.
Curveball for a strike.
Yeah. Got a little noise from the dugout.
Coach is getting a little fired up there.
Coaches like to be heard just enough.
I'm going to check that swing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no swing.
Yeah. It's a tough challenge for a left-handed batter. For
and the first base umpire, yeah.
Yes.
Probably not going to get that call unless it's obvious.
No.
It's just off the plate.
Just off the plate. 2-1 count here.
Number 3 hitter.
Yeah.
Again, going to get a good pitch to hit. Now, we've said that over and over again, but Taylon's going to have his .474 batting average. That
It's like the fielders are playing him pretty straight up in the outfield. I don't think you see too much over moving in the outfield positions unless the coach has a really good scouting report on the batter.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about having a lot of information. That's another curveball outside corner called strike.
So
he should have 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, coming to the bottom of the third inning here. Bel Air is winning 1-0, and yes, you are correct. That is his 6th strikeout. Pretty impressive this early in the game.
Yeah, that means 3 innings.
Strikeout here.
You're going to see a curveball over the outer half.
Yeah, it just freezes you enough, and you can't check your swing.
Yeah, he might have called that.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to say whether he might have swung and called it.
So we had no hits that inning, given up by the pitcher. And so far, Patterson Mill has given up 2 doubles and a walk. But that's it.
That's the base runners. Again, they're back-to-back doubles, or 2 doubles in the inning. I mean, that's going to drive in runs. Patterson Mill left the bases loaded. Cole really stranded the bases loaded last inning. So
yeah, they've stranded 4 runners so far. So we have our number 2 batter, Aiden Myers, leading off the bottom of the 3rd inning here. So let's see if he can get something going for his team.
He singled last time. I believe it was on that ball to second base. It was a tough play. Got a little walk-up music.
Yeah, I noticed that pre-game. They've got themselves a little DJ over there.
It's fun for the kids.
Oh, definitely. That's
There's
a nice strike ball. Yeah, that was no infield line drive. That was a solid single there.
That's a no-doubter. And again, talked before, Aiden's got some wheels, meaning he can run fast.
You got a number 3 batter coming up here, Jackson Wheeler. He struck out last time, but obviously he's not the number 3 batter for no reason there. He's a solid hitter.
He's actually leading this county in hits.
That's a good
21 hits.
Run.
And he's safe.
So
slide.
That was a good steal, and I thought the catcher did a good, powerful throw, but he just threw it a little bit to the third base side of the bag, which isn't going to give you a chance there with a fast runner like that.
Yeah, and he hit a great jump.
Yes. Well, sometimes you hear him say he's stolen the pitcher.
Well, and we talked earlier, Cole was holding the ball, making it very difficult. That time maybe could have held a little bit, but again.
So how often do you see a steal a third?
Not quite as much. You talked about the catcher having a good arm. It was a solid throw. It wasn't in the right spot.
So that's a tough
that's
ball.
That's going to be in a hole. The third baseman had to go over, so the third base bag is open there.
So that was a good job by Aiden to see if it goes through, because he didn't want the person to field it and get him in a rundown or throw behind him. But once he saw it kick off the glove, he said, I'm over here.
Yeah. Yeah, if the third baseman fields it and he's off the bag or running, that's not good, because there's nobody out. Making the first out at third base is just not what you want to do.
So we got Trey McInnes, our cleanup hitter, coming up here. He grounded out last time, but technically an out can score a run here.
Yeah, and first and third. This is a great opportunity. Stay out of the double play. I would imagine this is a pitch that there is going to be some kind of movement going on.
Right. Yeah, see if Jackson takes advantage of this, because with the speed on third, do you really want to throw down a second, or are they just going to give you the stolen base?
He actually got an early lead there. And he came back.
Oh, that's a well-hit ball. That's dropping in.
Yeah, that's a base hit. Line drive in the book. And he's throwing to third. It's a great throw.
Barely got him.
He got him.
Yeah, that was close. They called him safe.
His hand might have got in there, but that from his angle, that's a great throw.
Oh, they got him. Okay.
He called him out.
You know what threw me off there? I was watching the coach umpire for us.
Yeah.
So do you like that aggressiveness there, or do you think right fielder is Ethan?
Yeah, that's a great throw by
Smedley?
Ethan Smedley. That is a wonderful throw. That should not have been that close, and he was able to throw him out. And here's the replay.
Yeah,
his hand might get in there, but the umpire is right in front of second. There's no way he can see that.
So we're going to say that Aiden Myers was thrown out Aiden scored, correct?
Aiden scored. Jackson was thrown out at third. However, Trey did advance to second on that throw.
Yeah. Well, that was good heads up from him. I mean, he watched the trajectory of the ball.
Yeah.
And if you're not hitting the cutoff man, he's definitely going over.
Yeah, but Ethan was able to throw him out of third, so that's a great play by him.
So we got Michael Hemmel up here now, our pitcher. Man on second base, 1 run in.
And the scoreboard doesn't have the count here. I missed the first pitch looking at that replay.
So that's a tough play. That'll get him to third. But it's definitely a ground out.
It's 2 outs now.
2 outs and a man on third. So we have ourselves a 1-1 game here, folks. So
very important now. Pitcher and catcher are on the same page. Ben's really got to block any balls in the dirt, make sure he doesn't score like we talked about before. He would probably have to get wide here at Patterson Mill with the backstop.
So we have Chase Jahusky up here. He got on with an error last time. So he did make contact. Oh, we're looking at a squeeze bunt here. Wow, with 2 outs.
He's got the bunt for a base hit because there's 2 outs.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I apologize. I'm still impressed that they're willing to do it with 2 outs. He must have a high confidence in his ability to get down the baseline there.
Yeah, and if you see the infielders playing back, they've come in considerably.
That's a good, quick high grab there by our catcher.
And we talked earlier about playing small ball or not. Well, it's a 1-1 game, bottom of the third. So as we move forward, we're going to see a lot more smaller ball. Got a curveball in the dirt.
Ben Sellers is really doing a great job behind the plate here.
That was a good block.
He had to reach real high for one, and then he has to block one. Another high pitch.
All right, now Chase is going to have a good pitch to hit, like I talked about before when Mike was on the mound. Cole's going to have to come to him. 3-1 count. Ben goes out, and they're going to talk about.
So when the batter shows the willingness to bunt with 2 outs, man on third, is that like?
Well, it forces the third baseman possibly to come in. Then you can hit it by him. There's so many extra things you can do.
Does that get in the pitcher's head a little bit, and that's why he might be throwing a little bit higher, or you think he's just trying to throw a little bit too hard?
That's a great question.
I mean,
no, I mean, if you pitched all your life, you probably, it happens frequently. But again, you do have to think about, you have to go field the ball. So
I don't mean intimidated. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it might throw your mechanics off a little bit, trying to rush, making sure. I would think the 3-1 count that was there before the walk.
And we talked about before about the high strike being hard to field. I mean, hard to bunt. So does the pitcher deliberately try to throw high strike zone, and then it sails a little bit on you?
Well, when there's 2 outs, I'm letting them. I'm honestly letting them bunt and then hoping that they can get out of the inning.
So we have Ethan Schertzer up here right now.
And like before, we have first and third. So there is high school baseball is all about trying to get an extra run or two, and if you can get to second base here, it's going to be a great opportunity.
He's going. Oh, he went and faked.
There's a fake bunt, possibly a fake steal.
Yeah, I thought he was going.
I'm going to go on a limb. I am 100% sure he is stealing. Just so you know, I am 100% sure.
Okay, our first test, and he passed, folks. And the pitcher and the catcher let them go. They're not going to throw down with a man on third.
I cannot tell you why I knew that, but I knew that he was going to be stealing there. Coach Rosen has sworn me to secrecy. But again, it doesn't matter if Cole bears down here and gets another strike.
Good swing, good pitch. Ethan able to fight that off. So he's had to throw a decent amount of pitches this inning, so we may be getting to that decision point next inning, whether he comes back out or they bring in a new pitcher.
Yeah, and it'll depend on how Coach Andrews feels about his pitching staff, if it's deep.
Right.
I do know there's some injuries on the pitching staff. I couldn't get word exactly what's going on, but you know, if you have some injuries, you really got to keep your pitch counts down so everybody's available.
And don't you also have some weeks where you have 2 games and some weeks where you have 3?
Yeah, the rest of the season, they should all have 3 scheduled.
Yeah, that makes it tough.
Till you get to the first week in May. Now it's a 3-2 count.
Yeah.
Obviously, with first base open, the runners aren't going, but on contact, they'll be moving. Unless there's a ball in third, the runner at second should hold. Ball's up.
So now we have the bases loaded.
Sam Lever's coming up.
Yeah, Sam got a single last time. So let's see what he does here. So both teams have had, is this the second time they've had the bases loaded?
Cole has stranded the bases loaded last time, so let's see if he can do it again. The right fielder just started moving in here.
That's a high ball. Everybody's moving in case. He's running in.
Shortstop.
Good job.
Very good. Left fielder could have called him off, but that's a great play. I'm sure they were talking out there in the outfield.
So we have 1 run there, and we have another 3 runners stranded.
Yeah, that's...
We had multiple walks.
They've stranded 7 runners then.
Yeah.
Cole's been able to strand 7 runners.
So we had, technically speaking, we had 3 singles and 2 walks, and we only scored 1 run because of a thrown out, stealing.
Yep. Great play again by Ethan Smedley in right field. I didn't see exactly how far out in the outfield he was, but I'm impressed. He was able to get the ball to third base.
Oh, I apologize. We had 3 singles and 2 walks, but we had a runner thrown out on the base and a runner thrown out at third base, right? Or did we have?
We did not have a runner thrown out on the base.
No, so it was
the only runner that's been thrown out on the base is that runner that went to third.
It was just because of the runner thrown out third. That could have been a huge inning.
Yeah.
If we don't have that.
And I'll be honest with you. You know, coaching for 15 years, there's not many times you see the right fielder throw him out. It was the ball. The throw was a little high, but it had such good arm strength that it gave the third baseman a chance.
So here we are, folks, at the end of 3 innings, and we have a 1-1 game. And according to my stats right now, I have Patterson Mill has already had 5 hits, but
yeah, that one at second, depending on how you're scoring that, that is the only.
Yes. But I don't have. I mean, the 2 doubles were very well timed in the second inning.
Yeah, 2 hits for the
Bel-Air,
Bobcats.
so I only have 2 hits for them.
Those extra base hits are very important. And to give you an update on pitch count here, that inning Cole threw some pitches, so 48 pitches for Cole.
Right.
51 for Mike, so they're pretty much neck and neck now.
Right. So we have leading off the 7th inning, we have our cleanup batter Cam Devine, and last time he struck out, so he's 0 for 1. So we got Michael Hemmel on the hill here, folks, still.
And coming into the game, Cam was batting .407, so
wow.
11 hits, 3 doubles. And with 6 walks, obviously good eye at the plate. And now we are at a 2-1 count.
Yeah. So the pitcher seems to be like squeezing the shoulder blades together and moving the arm around and stuff. I guess after a little while you start to get a little tight and achy. I don't know when you're throwing.
Mike does that.
That's a well-struck ball. It should be in the alley, but let's see. No, my bad. Great job by our left fielder, Corey Gibson.
Yeah, that's a great play. Thought possibly that was another double.
Yeah. My first view here, looking through the fences, I thought it was a little bit more in left center than left, but
He made a good break on the ball.
yeah. And he's not playing close to the line either, so the outfielders on Patterson Mills seem to pinch to the middle a little bit more.
Yeah, he balled down the line. You're giving up a double.
Yeah. It's like a swing
Great
there.
pitch. Great pitch.
So
Probably a strike and didn't check his swing.
Yeah,
So
that's
either way, it was a strike.
Ben Bowen is our batter here, and he had one of the doubles last inning, and he scored the run for Bel Air.
Yeah. Wonder if the left fielder here, Corey, slid over just a little bit, because that's where both doubles were. 0-2 count through 2 curveballs.
So now they say you can throw the pitcher's pitch.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if Mike goes another curveball, since he looked a little challenged on the first 2 curveballs, or he's going to possibly go fastball away, fastball up. He has struck out, 4 hitters on a fastball up, so wouldn't be surprised to see a curveball now. Show the fastball, throw the curveball in the dirt.
So it's still a 1-2 count, so he's still got the edge here. 2-2 count. Good patience by our batter.
Yeah, that's a good eye. As a pitcher, you don't want to go 3-2 if you can help it. So
yeah,
it's gonna
especially
come
when you
right
had
at
the
him.
0-2 count to begin with, right?
Jammed him there, but that's going to get out of play. There is not much foul territory here, if you haven't noticed, with all the netting, the houses behind. There is pretty much, even if it's a fly ball pop up straight in the air, the netting actually goes over top, almost straight over top of the home plate. That is just off the plate.
Yeah, we went to that 3-2 count here.
Pitcher wanted it. Batter said that was a great call. There's the payoff pitch, too.
Good job.
Coach Andrews' error.
Well, Coach, you got to watch out. You're going to pull a hammy doing a split like that for the ball. I'm sure if you've been on the baselines coaching, Pat, you've seen some line drives come by your ear.
Yeah, I'm not going for the ball, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to let it go.
Hit him.
Hit by pitch.
Yeah.
He's getting his team fired up.
Yeah, I think Ben's trying to play that off with. That didn't hurt, so I'm going to woo a little bit.
I couldn't quite tell if that was a fastball or a curveball that missed, but hey, get on base. Possibly get him moving here. Coach Andrews, again, we talked about small ball. Get a runner in scoring position here. Now
so that's our first hit by pitch for our pitcher.
Yeah, actually, Mike got hit by the pitch. So Patterson has 1 hit by pitch, and now Bel Air has a hit by pitch.
Yep.
And the scoreboard, if anybody's watching that, it's a little off. This should be the 4th inning.
Yeah, this is the top of the 4th.
Like you said, that's what we just talked about with the net. Not
I
much
think
room.
that one saved it from coming our way, Pat. I'm appreciative.
Yeah, that was going to get out of anywhere we were, that was going to get out of play. I know we talked earlier about left-handed pitchers, but again, here is where a left-hander can really keep the running game. You're basically going to guess if you're going to steal.
Yep. We got Ethan Smedley up here.
Yeah, he made the great play in right field.
Yeah, that's a tough read to try to go on a lefty pitcher here. Here comes the pitch. Just inside.
1-1 count now. Ethan coming into the game was batting .273 with an RBI and 2 stolen bases. He's going to be a sports management.
There's a nice ball. That's a ground bound down the line. It's definitely going to be a double. Question is, do you hold the runner at third?
Yeah.
Probably.
Didn't quite go all the way to the warning track.
No, Corey Gibson got there pretty quickly too. So
double again. Notice extra base hits here.
Yeah. So second and third with 1 out, and we've got our DH Ethan Nitz coming up to the plate. He struck out last time. Coach would sure like to see him make contact this time. Put the ball in play on the ground and see if he can score a run.
And the shortstop is back. Jackson Wheeler is back, but all the rest of the infield are in. So
yeah, they're coming home if they can.
That's just strike on the inside corner. Coach Andrews has the option here of putting a contact play on where they're moving on a ground ball, or he's going to wait and see through.
It's outside.
Curveball missed.
So pitcher here is in a tight bind here. Michael Hummel. See if he can get out of this. Middle innings would be an important part of the game here. Nice pitch. Couldn't tell, but that looked like it might have been some kind of breaking pitch.
Yeah.
Dropped down there.
Yeah, jammed him a little bit there.
Yeah. 2-2 count, I'm pretty sure.
Catcher's really got, this ball's in the dirt, catcher's really got to be aware.
Yeah. Inside, we got a full count. Runners on second and third. Obviously, they got to wait, see what happens here.
Trey blocked that ball in the dirt.
Yeah. Catchers are both doing a good job here today, Pat.
Yeah, I haven't seen a ball trickle away at all.
No, nothing that they could even they can be faulted for.
Ooh, it's a great pitch.
Wow.
Inner half. Mike's ball tail is just a little bit away from right-hander for 7th strikeout, right?
Yeah.
Well, we talked about Patterson Mill stranding runners. Cole did a great job stranding them.
Yes, he did. So
now with 2 outs, this is
our catcher,
important.
Ben Sellers, coming up. He got the other double.
Yeah, he doubled.
And he nailed that ball.
And that gap is open right now. You know when the ball gets fouled straight back, it's a good sign for the batter.
Yeah, I think Ben's older sibling, brother, was a good ball player too. Soccer player as well. Ty.
Miss with the curveball.
So do you pitch around the batter sometime? I mean, Ben's batting lower in the lineup here, but, I mean, he's a solid hitter.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think, I mean, it's early in the year still. So all these teams, this is still their first time playing each other. So you really, after the first time you've been through, you're starting to get some more information. Unless you really know there's somebody you don't want to beat you, and I don't think anybody yet is there for these two teams. So I think you're going at him.
There it is, and he got it. Pitcher helping himself there.
Well, they strand the runners.
Yeah, so
the game 1-1.
So we strand 2 more runners, and we have no runs. We had a hit by pitch and a double that inning. So we're going to the bottom of the 4th inning here, folks, and we have a 1-1 game, and coming up to bat first for Patterson Mill is Corey Gibson, and then it'll be the top of the lineup.
This is going to be an important inning then for Bel Air. The top of the lineup coming up after the 9-hitter Corey. If Corey can get on, that really sets him up for a big inning.
They've had a lot of traffic on the bases. Just haven't been able to break it open.
And I think that makes the players a little more tense. You know, as the game gets going further and further in the late innings, and you've stranded all these runners, you really are. That's when we talked about playing small ball. This is where you got to try to scrap that run across. And knowing the pitch counts here, you're probably going to have to go to multiple pitchers for both players. Mike's now at 75, so.
And you said the number 105 before, but I mean, I can't imagine very often you would want a high school pitcher to go near 90 or 100.
Maybe late in the year. Obviously, this is getting towards the middle. Mike coming off, I think I mentioned already, him being sick. So Coach is going to have good talk with him, see how he's feeling. It's not always a bad thing because when you get to the playoffs, you really have to have guys that can go the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're going to use a lot of pitchers, and that's not always a good thing. So here's Corey trying to lead off the inning.
You got to strike out. He struck out last inning, but he gets a hold of that one. Should be pop out to first base. So that is a pitcher's friend at one pitch out. So that was our first baseman, John Wilhide, catching that ball.
This will be Travis's third time seeing Cole. So Cole's.
And he's hit the ball. I mean, he's ground out and he had a line out. So he's been making good contact. Going back to that last out of that last inning, if that ball gets by that pitcher,
yeah,
that's going to be tough.
Well, that probably goes up the middle.
Yeah.
Unless Jackson was able to come over from shortstop, but that would have been a tough play.
Yeah, I think
definitely 1 run scores, I believe.
Yes. Like to see good pitching defenders. One of my favorite all-time players, Jim Palmer, had a ton of Gold Gloves along with Jim Cott, I think, in the National League. I mean, how great is it for a coach to have pitchers that can field well?
Well, a lot of people say, the pitcher, we try to get off the mound when there's a pop-up, but, in high school, when it's your best player, you don't always want your pitcher to go not field the ball.
Mm-hmm.
This one might
coming
come
up
back
into
here.
the
Not quite to us, but heads up. They get stuck.
I think so. The bench,
Definitely happens.
some of the fans were looking for it.
And we talked about that net. Stuck on top of the net. That'll be there for a few weeks.
This is a little bit too high of a box stop to send somebody up to get that ball.
Yeah, you're throwing something up there.
Yeah, I was always the go get that ball. Nice.
That was a great pitch by Cole outside. Travis
Just trying to check
made
the
contact.
swing.
Yeah, trying to foul it off, but it went to
So
Will Hyde.
Now we got Aiden Myers coming up. He's 2 for 2 with a run and a steal. So he's been a very important batter this game.
Yeah, the last couple of years he's been a good bunter too. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he hit that ball well, but let's see what the left fielder can do.
It's over his head.
Yeah, that could
probably
be
a triple.
Well, let's see what kind
he's
of
going to stop
cutoff.
him.
Yeah.
Don't make the out at third.
Yes. Yeah. Don't make that last out. So that was a very good swing there. He was ready for that. I don't think there was anything our left fielder could have done about that one.
No, that was a no doubt. No doubt double. Especially the wind blowing away from him.
So let's see if
Jackson Wheeler
can get a 2-out hit to bring this run in.
Definitely not a pitch you could do anything with, so that's a good take by Jackson. Good pitch by Cole.
Now with the second baseman holding the runner on, a lot of room to shoot one through that right side if he has that skill set to.
Yeah, like I haven't been able to watch Jackson this year, but definitely if you can go oppo here, opposite field.
He's 1 for 2. He got a single in his last at bat.
It's in the backyard.
Some of these neighborhood houses here, they might want their own netting.
Well, they might be able to sell some baseballs after the game. After a season. Might have a couple dozen.
Oh, that's a foul ball
pitch.
there.
He stayed alive. Again, great pitch by Cole, 0-2 count.
Yes.
He made that pitch look like it was going to be a strike. Curved off the plate. Jackson did all he could to just foul it off.
Yeah, Cole's got 2 strikeouts so far.
It's a good eye, too. Another great pitch by Cole. Low in the zone. Curveball again. See if they go high fastball here, because we've seen a lot of strikeouts on a high fastball by both players.
Called it a strikeout looking. It's his 3rd strikeout of the game for our pitcher, Cole Saxon. So at the end of 4 innings here, folks. We have a 1-1 ball game, so somebody's going to need to make something happen soon, or this game could go down right to the wire here, or extra innings. Similar situation to last inning. Bel Air is coming up to bat with their number 9 batter, Jalen Dominica, and then they'll go to the top of their lineup.
Cole had a pretty quick inning there, too.
Yes, so that'll be interesting to see what that does.
Looks like 59 pitches. He got out of the inning in 11 pitches.
Mm-hmm. So we had 1 hit in that last inning for Patterson Mill. So Patterson Mill has 6 hits so far, but they've only been able to muster 1 run. Pitcher's done a good job getting out of the situations. It's a coach's frustration, all the left on base runners.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do, though. Obviously, there's a 2-out double.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not going to be able to do much. You
No,
don't want to steal third there. Obviously, the bases loaded the last 2 innings leaving is really tough to handle.
Mm-hmm.
Bel Air last inning, runners on second and third with 1 out. You know, that's a little tougher. I think Patterson Mill had the base loaded with 1 out as well.
So, yeah, they did have that. Patterson Mills had the bases loaded twice.
Yeah.
But might have been 2 outs the other time. But Michael Hummel is staying out there on the mound, coming out for the 5th inning.
Yeah, this will be his 76th pitch.
So you would think, unless he has a quick inning, it might be his last inning. But
at this point, it doesn't do any different if he goes another inning now.
Right.
So he's out the week.
Unless he has a large pitch count inning. You know, you see these pitchers have these 25.
He may not make it through the inning anyway, if that's the case.
So that was the ground out for Jalen D'Amico. And we are at the top of the order here with Will Carrier. Will was flied out twice. Strike 1.
Way to get ahead of the batter.
How often do you see pitchers get complete games here?
It is very rare.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you'll get either 6 innings or 6 1/3 innings.
Oops.
Batter get out of the way.
Yeah, almost got hit.
Looked like a curveball again. Mike's definitely having trouble with his curveball today.
So he's got 7 strikeouts so far in this game.
The other thing too, they both played on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure who pitched for both teams, but that player's not available. So
Will was way ahead of that one. Will did that earlier in the game. He hit a really hard foul ball.
Is that the one that almost hit the cars?
Yeah.
All right, 1-2 count. I believe 4 of Mike's strikeouts have been a fastball up. There's a curveball.
There it is.
There's a curveball though.
So that is strikeout number 8.
That sounds correct to me.
And we got 2 down here. So
2 down the 5th inning, right?
yeah, if he can get a quick out here, he should be able to consider next inning.
I'm not a math teacher, but that's 17 outs, correct?
Yes.
8 strikeouts. So half of his, a little less than half of his strikeouts have been.
But
Still
your math was good enough, you know. What do you teach?
I teach physical education.
Okay. I was also a physical education teacher. My son is one too. We got a little bit of a.
Oh,
yeah,
he still almost got him.
Almost got him. That was a ground ball to our shortstop there, and
Jackson Wheeler.
Unfortunately, he bobbled it slightly. So
Probably going to be an 86, right?
yeah, I am going to say that's an error.
All right, so now we got 2 outs with a runner on.
And Talon Johnson up, and he walked the first inning.
Yeah, we talked about Patterson Mill trying to steal a run with getting a runner on here with 2 outs.
Right.
So Bel Air, you know, if they can get at some point, you might take a risk here and try to steal, go on first movement, see what Coach does. Coach Andrews, I don't know how much speed's at first here.
And believe it or not, he's controlled the middle of this order somewhat decently, the 2, 3, 4 hitters. Talon walked the first inning and struck out in the second time he batted.
Well, it's a left-on-left matchup, too, so.
Yeah.
And now he's 3-0.
So you said before, big batter up, 3-0, 2 outs. Do you consider stealing knowing that he can lead off the next inning, or
not 3-0?
You want to see if you can get
here.
2 pitch batters on? So we have a walk here. Now you bring up your cleanup hitter, Cam Devine, who struck out, but he hit a really hard line out the second at bat. This is a big part of the game here, Pat, with pitcher getting a little bit tired here. 2 outs in the 5th inning.
Yeah, we talked about whether this would be his last inning. Well, here you go with high pitch count.
Yeah, he was doing good there until the last 2 batters got on base. So I'm looking around here to see if you see another pitcher warming up anywhere.
No, I looked over. You will see him here. They're down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's 2-0. Coach Roseland's going to head out to the mound.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Devine coming into the game, too, is, I believe I already mentioned, batting .407.
Wow.
3 doubles. He also plays varsity basketball.
Yeah, I called a game he was in. He's a good, well-rounded athlete.
So Coach probably going out to the mound, letting Mike know he's towards the end of his time pitching today. He needs to come after him.
Yeah.
2-0 count.
2 outs.
Cam's going to get a good pitch to hit probably.
Mm-hmm.
Probably see somebody if he can get out of the inning, somebody will be coming in to warm up.
.30 count here. All 4. Got the bases loaded here, folks, with Ben Bowen coming up. And Ben was hit a double earlier in the game. He was hit by pitch last at bat. And I think we said Bel-Air had the bases loaded once?
They had second and third.
Second and third, that's what it was. So this is their first bases loaded opportunity.
All right, there's a strike.
That was a big pitch right there.
Well, we said, I mean, this is what you call a pitcher's duel, right? I mean, 1-1. We're the bottom of the 5th. Cole's stranded, the bases loaded twice. Mike's stranded second and third.
No.
Looked like a curveball low there, just slightly low.
Yeah, that was close.
That's one of those, as a pitcher you want.
Mm-hmm.
Ben saying it was a great call.
High pitch, 2-1.
As a pitcher, you just want to find. It's tough when you're struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Any pitch you can get over right now is what you want to be able to get over. Make him put the ball in play.
Kind of feel alone out there right now,
strike.
don't you? Did he call that a strike? Wow.
Strike.
That was a close one.
The fans were a little bit on him last inning when Patterson Mill got a 3rd strike call outside. That looked very similar.
So this 2-2?
This would be 2-2 count.
Yep, 2-2, bases loaded.
2-2 count.
Top of the 5th
2
inning
outs.
here.
It's a big pitch, especially when you're struggling.
That's in there.
Base hit.
That should score 2. That was a well-struck ball by Ben Bowen. It's a single.
It's a line drive for sure.
2 RBIs.
He had a double already today, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's his 6th double in the year. Oh, excuse me.
Single.
That was a
Single,
that was a
yep.
single. So he has a single and a double.
So we still have runners in first and second. 3-1 lead now for Bel Air in the top of the 5th inning.
Ethan Smedley, right?
Yeah, we got Ethan up, and he hit a double last at bat.
He had a great play in right field. Double last at bat.
Oh, coach, E6. I mean, E-coach. What's the number there?
Maybe
10?
Yeah, sounds right, 10.
Yeah, his players are going to give him a little bit of ribbon for that. Players love to make fun of their coaches, don't they?
Yes, yes, I agree. Uh-oh.
Okay, now can he pick this up in time to get him? Nope. You call that a single or an error when it's that quick to the pitcher?
I'm probably calling that an error.
Okay.
It's tough. That's still a tough play, though.
Yep. So now we have our DH Ethan Nitz coming up to bat with the bases loaded, 2 outs still.
I believe they're having a pinch hitter come up.
Okay, so number 5,
It's
that
going to be
would
Cooper Ray. Cooper Ray, sophomore.
I'm trying to see if I have
Zach
him
Ray's
down
brother.
Here. Yeah, there. Oh, wait a minute. What number is he at?
Number 5.
Oh, you know what? On my list, I'm trying to see if I have him here. So Cooper Ray is in for Ethan Nitz. There he is. I have him up here in this mess here. He's only a sophomore. And
Mike tried a little pick off there, back pick, since he was struggling, trying to get an out.
that's a big part of the game here.
Yeah, I mean, you can get out of the inning on, not pitching to somebody. That was a good pitch to outside.
Yeah, you get a big hit here, you can break this game open a little bit. You get an out here, you can just get up there and say we've got multiple at bats. That's a tough ball to see if he judges
Chase
this.
is going to take that.
Very good.
That's a good piece of hitting, but right at Chase. And I believe that was Mike's 101st pitch, so he's probably going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he gave up 3 runs total, 2 in that inning. Did strand the bases loaded, which you said was very important because that would have broke it open.
Yes, I mean, the ball has a little tail on it down that line. You're clearing the bases. So I had in that inning, I had 2 walks, a single, and a few errors there.
Yeah,
So there's only 1 hit in that whole inning. 2 walks, 2 errors.
yeah. Well, the line drive up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That was a solid single. Scored 2 runs. Very important. Now, Coach Andrews is talking to the home plate umpire, Danny Pierce, about his changes. He had Cooper Ray come in the game. We're going to have to figure out if in high school baseball you're allowed to return as the starter. So Cooper is in the spot of Ian Nitz, you said, correct? Ethan Nitz?
Yes. So can Ethan come back in as DH?
Ethan can come back in.
But also,
Or-
what happens if Cooper's a pitcher? Can he
Yeah,
go
so-
in the pitch?
Well, it's 2 different spots, so
Right?
he's definitely explaining something. I don't know. There might be another situation where there's somebody else coming in the game. We'll have to see if we can figure that out.
So we are going to the bottom of the 5th inning here, folks, with a 3-1 lead for Bel Air. They took advantage of their situation that time, Pat. Patterson Mills had multiple chances to take advantage of the situation, but they've left the bases loaded twice. So we kind of start the bottom of the 5th inning here with Trey McInnes coming up.
Yeah, and just to remember the picture you're seeing right here, the scoreboard's a little off. We are in the
Right.
5th, even though
Yes.
it looks like we're in the 6th. Sam's going to lead us off.
Sam?
Is that right?
No, I think I have
Trey
Trey
McInnes.
McInnes
My
is up
fault.
here.
He's the freshman 4 hitter.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't know if he specializes in baseball or if he does anything else, but not sure. But that's what's amazing now these days is some of these baseball players really specialize. So to see any of them playing another sport, let alone 2, he
took that.
He took that for sure.
Took one for the team there. And that's an important getting the leadoff guy on. You know, as a home team, you just gave up 2 runs, trying to bounce back and get them back quickly. And now look who's up. We got Mike Hemmelt. He's trying to make up for that last inning.
And he was hit by pitch in his first at bat, grounded out in the second at bat. Wow, that was hit well. That should
left fielder coming over, left fielder.
Should be a tough play here at third base, though.
Oh, jeez.
Safe. That was a great throw by our left fielder, Talon Johns.
That would have been another one. You know, Ethan Smedley in right field had a great throw. Got a guy at third, almost again.
Yeah. Here comes here. Let's look at this one more time. Good job running, Aaron. Nice slide.
Looked like he got his hand in.
Yeah, he got his hand in just by his leg. But I'll tell you what, Michael Hemmelt, you said making up for those 2 runs you just gave up.
Yeah,
he sure did with that nice double.
And the courtesy runner now at second. Courtesy running for him. I believe it's the same courtesy runner.
Let's see who that is.
Drew Szymanski, I believe. Not sure if we can get a look at the runner at third.
So I'm going to change my stance from before where I said I love bunts. I mean, yes, you could bunt, but with second and third and nobody out here, I think you're just trying to put the bat on the ball and see if you can get a base hit, sac fly, or a ground ball to the right side to get him in.
And Coach Andrews here has a pitching change.
So we got number 5 here for Bel Air. So that was...
This is the Cooper Ray. So
yeah, so that is Cooper Ray.
So he must have stayed in, and now they have lost the designated hitter.
Yes.
Right?
Or does that switch...
He's in for Cole, actually. Yeah, and because he hit, now they've lost the designated hitter. Now, Ian can still come back and hit because he was the starter.
Right.
But temporarily, Cooper will bat each time now.
So many warm-up pitches do you generally get when you're...
I believe it's 8 warm-up pitches.
Okay. So they were probably obviously... out of our view over here to the left, they were probably warming him up recently a little bit, you know.
It looks like Ethan Schertz is warming up for Patterson Mill. I can't see the bullpen from Bel Air.
I can see it. It is number 4.
Yeah, that's Ethan Schertzer over there. Cooper, he's already pitched 11 and a third innings. He has a 2.47 ERA with 12 strikeouts. So he'll be going on his 12th inning here. We did have Chase square. That was a high curveball. He talked about possibly not bunting. Well, Coach Rosen disagreed. And he is going to show bunt. Popped it up.
Yeah,
and
he's lucky that hit the screen, or that would have been a pop out to the catcher. So we do have Chase Jahusky up here right now. And, you know, wrapping up the performance for our first pitcher here.
Cole Saxon.
Cole had given up, looks like he gave up 6 hits, 7 counting the last one, and the 3 runs. But I don't know that they would all be considered earned runs because there was 2 errors in that last inning.
Well, Cole gave up the 1 run. Right, he's responsible for the runners on second and third here. That's a good curveball that had Chase. Now the pitcher is probably going to be coming in.
I'm looking at the wrong team here. I apologize, folks.
Ethan Schertzer is now going to bat, and he just came from warming up.
So yes, our Bel Air pitcher Cole, he gave up the 1 run. but he is responsible for the 2 runners. But he didn't give up a terrible amount of hits. He gave up the 2 doubles, and he gave up a couple other hits in that inning. But 1, 2, I have him giving up.
They had a couple infield hits that 1 inning. I have down that we have 7 hits.
Yeah.
He did strand the bases loaded twice. And I believe in the first inning, a runner in scoring position. Ethan now has the count in his favor at 2-1. Cooper got to battle out of this. He's going from the windup. Runner at second can get a big lead going from the windup.
3-1 count here on Chase. So you think he'd get a pitch to hit here.
Yeah, Cooper's curveball looks really good.
Okay, that's got to score.
That got him in the head.
Okay.
Hit by pitch. In the playoffs a couple years ago, Ethan actually got hit in the face during our playoff game and could not continue. All right, now this is Sam Lever. Boy, did I make a mistake earlier. Sam Lever here.
Wait a minute. That was just Chase who got hit by a pitch, right?
No, Ethan Schertzer got hit by a pitch.
Oh, Ethan got hit by a pitch.
And that should, oh no.
Oh, he messed up there. So I missed something here. What did Chase do? So we
Chase
had
struck out.
Struck out, that's what it was. So we have 1 out.
And, you know, what we just saw there, bases loaded, there was 1 out. As a runner at third, you got to go back and tag. Yeah. Obviously, Trey being a freshman there, just something that he'll learn.
So we now have Corey Gibson, our number 9 batter here. Important time here, 2 outs, down 2 runs.
Now it's an 0-2 count. That was a fastball, then a curveball. The batter's now, Cooper's going really fast, so he's trying to slow him down a little bit. And he hit him in the head. It's 2 hit by pitches. Again, that was a curveball.
Okay, brings in a run. So it looks like that was Trey scoring a run there.
Trey scores, makes it 3-2.
Yeah. So we've had 3 hit by pitch batters this inning.
Now we got bases loaded with the top of the lineup.
Yeah.
After stranding 2 innings.
Harrison Mills is making my scorecard look tough here. Batting around almost, and you know, batting many batters in many innings, but only 2 runs to show for it.
They are definitely trying to slow Cooper Ray down. He's not. Umpire's probably going to go out and tell him you got to wait till the batter gets in the box.
Okay.
He had his hand up. And he started his delivery. That does not count as a pitch.
So our freshman scoring the run there got bailed out by the hit by pitch because he ended up scoring the run he should have scored before that. So
yeah, well the only thing is, you know, well, yeah.
Coach won't be as hard on him.
It'll be the same situation. It'll be bases loaded here, but
yeah,
a little bit deflating. Now we got a 2-0 count though.
Yeah, your leadoff hitter here, Travis Lowy. Let's see if he could do anything.
Now 3-0 count.
3-0 count.
Away.
You know, some people say you're swinging, but I like to take 2 here.
Yeah, he's taking. Yeah, he's taking. Might even crowd the plate.
High pitch, ball 4. Brings in another run. Looks like Michael Hemmelt coming in to score here, I think.
It'll be the courtesy runner for Mike and Drew Szymanski.
So now we have a tie.
Tie game 3-3.
And
now Aiden Myers, who, am I right? He is he 3 for 3?
He's 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double, a steal, a run scored.
Well.
And if 3 more batters get up the plate here, I don't know what to do with my scorecard pack because I got to do something up at top here because we would have batted around.
Yeah. Well, Cooper Ray's hoping that you won't have to worry about that.
Yes. So Aiden big spot here. Tie game, 3-3, bottom of the 5th inning.
Oh, they tried the hidden ball trick. I don't know if you caught that on camera, but
that's pretty cool.
The pitcher was not on the rubber. And actually, the ball wasn't in play. Here is an interesting situation we're going to watch.
Patterson Mill coach bringing up a rule infraction here.
Yeah,
he's saying
that's a problem. If you do the hidden ball trick, it depends on if they put the ball in play though. If the ball was in play or not, that's going to be the important thing.
Right. So they're doing what I like to see here, Pat. They're conversing.
Yeah.
So they're calling a balk.
So because the pitcher was on the mound and didn't have the ball, Coach Roseland let the umpires, reminded them of the rule, and now Coach Andrews is probably going to argue this.
He wants to talk to both umpires. Don't know if he's allowed to request that. This is like a form of challenging a call here. Is he allowed to go out and request to talk to him?
I'm not sure there's a rule.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I have seen numerous times where they've called something, reversed the call, and I've actually seen them reverse it back before.
Right.
So you never know here, but I do know that you can't have a hidden ball trick with the pitcher going to the mound. So the only thing that would have stopped that is if they didn't have the ball in play.
Okay.
So
I don't know if he's calling in a new pitcher here.
They might be making a pitching change here. Coach might not be happy with.
So we've got number 1.
And that's a huge run, by the way. It's 4-3.
Now I'm confused here. Is that number 1?
I'm assuming he's coming in to pitch.
And if that's number 1, it's Jalen D'Amico.
He's a number 9 hitter, right?
And I thought he was in center field, so they must have somebody out in center field I don't know about.
Yeah, I know. Well, we talked about in between innings, Coach Andrews was going
Losing
over
the
there
DH.
to.
Yeah.
Well, that was a whole nother situation because he was over there talking about making a change, and we obviously missed the center fielder coming out of the game.
So you saw one of the more odd things in baseball fans watching this game. You saw a team try to do
the hidden
ball trick with the bases loaded, and that took some guts.
And I'm sure Coach Andrews is going to say he did not put that call in there with the way he reacted. So,
and then
if he got away with it, I mean, that would have been a great play. But Coach Roseland did make the umpires aware that they would have let that go. So
that was very smart coaching by him.
I did get word here that Jordan Kozak was in center field there for a short amount of time, so he must now be out of the game.
So for those of you that may not have heard us say it, Coach Roseland was, lauded before the game, and they brought some, I want to say, some coaches and former players to speak on behalf of the fact that he got his 200th win last game.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
On Friday, he got his 200th win, 16 seasons.
That's amazing.
Aiden Myers now up again.
I mean, that means you're averaging double-digit wins a year. That's a good job.
Yeah, pretty much over 500 every year too.
Yeah. So
Aiden Myers 3 for 3.
Yeah.
We talked about last inning, Bel Air really being able to blow the game open if they had that hit there with the bases loaded after scoring 2.
Right. Pitcher helped himself.
Aiden can really make this hurt by scoring these 2 runs.
Yeah, we got a 4-3 game here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and if you can extend this, that's going to be a tough play. Let's see. Good job by our center fielder.
So Jalen comes in and retires Aiden, who's been 3 for 3. So that's a great job by Jalen.
So Patterson Mill picks up 3 runs in that inning to take the 4-3 lead.
2 of those runs will be charged to our starter Cole Saxon, and Cooper Ray will get charged with the run that he balked in. So we're going to the top of the 6th inning. Pattersonville leading 4-3. Pattersonville has 7 hits. Bel Air has 5, according to And they will also bring in a new pitcher. We had Ethan Schertzer warming up, but it looks like Noah.
This is Noah was playing.
He was at first,
Yeah.
being DH for, correct?
Yes, he was. So Noah's going to come in to pitch.
And that's Noah Thomas. He's a sophomore.
So it looks like we have a new first baseman, which was our pitcher.
Travis Lowy moves to first. Ethan at shortstop. Jackson moves to third. And Chase is now at second.
Lots of moves
So
here.
we got a lot of moving. Mike Hamel, who was the pitcher, is now in center field. Aiden Myers, I believe, was in center field, now moves to right field. And if I didn't coach them last year, I would not have known any of that, just so you know.
And
that's why we didn't have any idea that Jalen came out of center field last inning.
Do you think maybe your former coaching friend is messing with you on purpose because he knows you're calling this game with me?
I mean, he would do that on purpose. Don't get me wrong, but I do know there's a lot of moving parts.
Well, it is very impressive to see the versatility of the players.
Yeah.
That they can play multiple positions like that. So, I'm going to.
And if there's an injury, it's important that,
I'm going to hope that you can help me keep stats on different pitchers now that we have different pitchers coming into games, because that's going to be kind of hard to do. So
the pitch count's not going to work. We're not going to have to worry about that anymore.
No, and I just meant like maybe how many strikeouts they got or things like that. But I mean, our starting pitcher for Patterson Mill had a lot of strikeouts.
Eight strikeouts, I believe, right?
Yes.
I believe he had 8 strikeouts.
So now we have Belair. Ben Sellers is back at the bat here, and he had the RBI double in his first at bat, and he grounded out in the last at bat.
And this pitcher, Noah Thomas, he's pitched 14 innings. He has a 4.5 ERA.
Good take.
Got ahead with the fastball and just threw a curveball there to Ben. And that same spot Ben hit the double earlier is still that gap I'm looking at.
Yeah. So that went right up the middle. That was very nice swing. Just wanted to put that in play.
And the tying run is on base now.
Yeah, let's see if they can answer. I mean.
And now Jalen on the mound gets a chance to tie the game up.
Mm-hmm.
Help himself out. He's the number 9 hitter, so it'll be interesting to see if they play bunt here.
So Belair got a run in the second inning, and I had them getting 2 runs in the 5th inning.
Noah checks the runner at first.
And then I had Patterson Mill scoring 1 run in the 3rd and 3 in the 5th.
Nate Furrow again is the courtesy runner at first base for Ben Sellers.
It was a good fight off there. Jalen has grounded out twice.
And he's not bunting, so there you go. Swinging away. Fouled it straight back. We talked earlier about Mike being left-handed. Noah's left-handed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to keep the running game close. Throws over to first.
And as we said, there's unlimited throwovers allowed in high school. We're not using the MLB rules here.
And there's actually you can do some fake throwing to third, unlike Major League Baseball. So it's still the old rules.
Okay.
Just off the plate, fastball away.
Yeah.
I believe it's a 2-1 count, even though the scoreboard says 0-1.
Yeah, he'd love to work a walk here if he can and have runners on first and second. But see what the new pitcher can do here.
Patterson Mill coaches obviously think they're going to be doing something as well.
Right. Yeah, the entire Belair bench yelling back on that play for the runner on first base.
And that's important with a lefty on the mound.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they really think he's moving. And the coach does go through a new set of signs every time they throw over. So
right.
Jalen called timeout there.
Yeah. Wants to give his.
Jalen wants to play football in college, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now he's bunting there. That
took a bad bounce for Patterson Mill. Wow.
Yeah, and the first baseman was charging without the second baseman covering, so that was going to be a base hit no matter what there, unless he was able to tag him.
So now you got a really interesting thing here, Pat. You got your 8-9 batters on base, and you're coming up to your leadoff batter. You're only down by 1 run in the top of the 6th here. Here comes this nice bunt we can show you here, folks.
When it gets popped up here, it looks like it hit a little bit of a divot and bounces towards second as the next batter is now bunting.
Yep,
but
and
he gets the
force out.
Gets the force out at third.
Wow, that was a nice play.
I was just, honestly, I'm not making this up, I was just about to say, as the coach at Bel Air, Coach Andrews, probably saying to himself, they were unable to get the bunt the last time.
Well, that was great defense. He pounced on that.
And it helped that he was left-handed and was able to throw a third without turning.
So we got 1 out with runners on first and second.
And good speed on the bases.
Pitcher stepping off there.
Aiden Hankins up.
How often do we get to see the double steal here, Pat? Come on, is it a possibility? But probably not with a left-handed pitcher. That's a hard hit ball, and that's gapping.
That's in the gap.
That is double. Probably, let's see, held up.
It's going to be a single, but the runner at first is going to get to third.
Surprised. So very solid single there by John Wilhide.
I actually think it was Aiden Hankins, number 8.
Oh, is he? Did he pinch hit for Wilhide?
Somewhere he got in the game somewhere.
Okay, Hankins. Okay.
Now we got first and third, 1 out. Patterson Mill is going to look for a ground ball double play. Coach Andrews might have some action here. We talked earlier. First and third, trying to stay up the double play. Would not be surprised to see something moving here at first base.
That outfielder really cut that ball off quickly.
Yeah, and now Coach Rosen has called the infield in at second and short.
Yeah, you really like to get this runner in from third here. Take the lead back again. So we got Talon Chance up here, and he has walked twice and struck out once.
Yeah, I think his walks were on full.
Doesn't know where the ball is. Smartly, the runner goes to second base on the wild pitch.
It's the first time somebody's advanced all day.
Yeah.
Talked good about the catchers earlier.
So that takes away the double play opportunity. So.
And we talked earlier, this is the opportunity if you're a coach where you got to make your decision if you're going on contact. 3-0 count.
Now, is this a time you consider pitching around the batter, number 3 batter, left-handed batter?
It does save. It makes it a little bit easier to get the out at home.
Yes.
So
that's home.
And he's
out.
Held on to it. That is a great play by Short, Ethan Schertzer, and Trey McGinnis at home.
Wow.
Was able to hold on to that play.
That was a big play. So
and Aiden did not advance.
Obviously, they weren't worried about pitching around the number 3 batter. Great job coming in, measuring that. Catcher, nice catch and tag.
And Noah starts him off with a fastball away. Swings through it for a strike. This is Zach Ray.
Yeah, Zach, he was pinch hitting before.
You know who I think Coach Andrews might be playing tricks on us here. This is the 4 spot.
Hit batter. So now we're back to another bases loaded situation. And 2 down.
Has there been runners on second and third or bases loaded? I think every inning, right?
Yes, yes. That's why my scorecard looks like a train wreck here.
Well, this has definitely been an exciting game.
You're not as old as I am, but back in the day when you went to a ball game, all the kids bought the scorebook and you sat there and you tried to score keep.
So now we got Ben Bowen. He's doubled.
Yes, he's doubled, hit by pitch, singled, 2 RBIs. He got the big hit last inning.
And Coach Rosen's going out to the mound.
So we have a 4-4 game here, folks, at the top of the 6th inning. This is a crucial part of the game here. I mean, we've said this 2 or 3 times already. Big hit busts the game open, but as soon as one team we think is, you know, in good position, the other team's coming back and scoring runs.
Yeah, there's not really much to add to that. I mean, the pitchers have been battling out of jams all day.
Yes. And, you know, as hot as Ben's been at the plate, is not exactly the guy you want to be facing with the bases loaded.
Yeah, that's true.
Followed with Ethan Smedley on deck, who also has a double this game.
And there's no place to put him, so you got to come right at him.
Yes. Inside.
Infield's cannot let the ball get through. Even if they can't make a play, they got to knock it down to prevent the runner at second from scoring. Along with that runner that would score from third.
Popped out of play to the right side here.
And maybe another shooter. No, not quite.
Almost.
Not quite back to the backyard.
So 1-1 count. 2 outs. Top of the 6th, 4-4 game, bases loaded. Ben Bowen with a really good opportunity right here. See what our pitcher can do. Inside.
Oh, man. What's his call here?
What's the call here?
Umpire is going to call him for leaning out over the plate. Coach Andrews not going to like this.
So explain what happened here. Let's watch.
Yeah, you'll be able to
here.
look at this one as Coach is talking to the umpire, umpire, but you'll see that his hands, they're saying that he leaned over. Not a call you see very often. It might even be, honestly, that might even be a foul ball, to be honest.
I think it might have hit the butt of the bat. So I think we have a 1-2 count here. Yeah, it was a foul tip.
I'm not 100% sure. The umpire said, well, held up 1-2, but it could be 2-1.
Yeah. Foul ball again.
That's a big call.
I didn't really notice him leaning out over the plate personally. I didn't see him lean back away from the pitch, but I didn't think he leaned out.
Maybe he called it a foul ball. I'm not 100% sure.
He must have.
I was hoping he held the count up again. Well, 3-2, 2 outs. All the runners are going to be moving here.
This is a big play pitch here.
You got to make sure he goes home.
Good news, he commits. Well hit ball down the right field line.
That
could be out of here. Nope,
hit
off
a double
the fence.
off the wall.
Should
Runner
clear
from
the
first
bases.
to started.
So we got a base clearing double here. 3 RBIs.
Yeah, that ball kept carrying out to right field.
Wow.
Talked about the wind.
That was a tough play for the right fielder. I mean, that ball went up against the wall, and it was tailing to the right as it did it.
That might have hit off Mac Olszewski's jersey out in right field, actually.
Let's see what happened here. 3 runs.
Coach Rosen's now going to make a pitching change, too.
Putting this game up to a 7-4 game. Patterson Mill's going to have 2 more at-bats to try to answer. He drove that ball a long way. I mean, that says it's 330 down the right field line here.
That was probably 329 then, right?
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
29 and a half. I don't know. Something like that. Let's see.
So we're going to make another circle of changes here again, I think. because Travis Lowy was at first base, and now he is going somewhere around the infield, probably to third base. Ethan, who was at shortstop, is now going to be the pitcher. Noah Thomas was as the pitcher, just gave up the runs there, and he's going to be back at first.
So that's one of those do-overs where if he would have been hit by a pitch, he would have brought run in. Got a do-over, and then he hits a 3-run scoring double.
And that was Ben Bowen, right? That's his second double today, like you said.
Well, according to this, Ben has 5 of the RBIs in this game. And
that's his 6th double in the year.
Mm.
Look, and it says in the stats he had 7 RBIs coming in, so he's almost doubled his RBIs today.
That's incredible. He's a junior. So it's pretty impressive. I mean, Bel Air, like we said, they have a mixture. They have a handful of seniors in the starting lineup today, but they have a couple sophomores and 3 or 4 juniors playing in the starting lineup.
Cam Devine, a sophomore that started.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Ray was the one that came in and pitched for a while, tried that hidden ball trick with the third baseman. He's also a sophomore.
So I'm trying to keep track here. Is this our 3rd or 4th pitcher for Patterson Mill?
This would be the 3rd pitcher.
And I think we've had at least 3 for Bel Air.
3 for Bel Air.
Yeah.
Cole Saxon, Cooper Ray, and then Jayla Domenico.
So now you have Ethan Smedley up, and you got a runner on second base. 2 down. He has struck out, hit a double, and error on his 3rd at bat.
We got Ethan versus Ethan here.
Mm-hmm.
2-0 count. This might be a situation where you would make sure, since he had some good contact early, where you may want to pitch around or not give him a good pitch to hit.
Foul ball.
He fouled it off
Fouled
himself.
off himself. That cannot feel good, folks. Always watched baseball and wondered.
It's gotten a little chillier
Yes.
since we started too, so
Yeah.
that makes it hurt a little worse.
Well, if this inning ever ends, you will be giving a quick recap for me while I put my jacket on to that point. It's that time of year where you can start a game with shorts and a short sleeve shirt. There you go. That ball should be a tough play. Almost picked it up, and the runner continuing around,
safe
and he
home.
scores. That was great hustle by number 7, Ben Bowen. Scored on I'm going to call that a base hit. That was a tough play at first base.
Yeah, Jackson Wheeler ranged into the hole, made a great play. That would have been a highlight play if
That's
he made
a
a
tough
good
ball to
throw,
scoop.
or Noah could have gotten the pick there, but it ended up that the runner Ben at second was able to come around and score.
Well, I told you I'm a fan of speed and hustle, and I like that. I like seeing that kind of running. So this is Cooper Ray, I think, batting, and this is the 9th batter of this inning. They have batted around. And it is now an 8-4 game, so Patterson Mills kind of running out of innings here. They're going to have to get a couple rally innings here going.
Yeah, they only got 6 outs to work with. But again, they still got to get out of this inning. That ball was hit up the middle, and looked like second baseman Chase. I believe that's Chase at second right now. Chase and Jackson tried to field the ball. Both of them went for the ball, and it tipped off. It looked like Chase's glove, and nobody was able to field it. That's a base hit up the middle. Tough play. The runner was moving. And now we have Ben Sellers up to plate. Fouled it off.
Thank you, Pat. Was able to get the sweatshirt on there. So here we go here. I mean, we are up to the 10th batter this inning, and I agree with you. That was a little bit of confusion up the middle on that last ball there.
Well, they were covering the base for the steal, and the ball was hit up the middle, so it was challenging play. Ethan just threw a curveball for a strike to get ahead 0-2. So now he needs to decide. He's going to waste the pitch here, try to get him to expand the zone. Or go right at him.
So Ben, yeah, he's had a 2-hit game and an RBI, and now we got a wild pitch moving 2 runners over here.
Yeah, that's the only problem with the runner on base, trying to waste a pitch, maybe get him to swing. Sometimes that's a wild pitch there and very challenging for the catcher. Curveball in the dirt. Patterson's been very successful throwing the ball up in the zone. Fastball's up. There's going to be a curveball, though, on the outer half for the strikeout. Ben's going to want that pitch, though, when he's up, when he's catching.
So at the bottom, going into the bottom of the 6th inning, Bel-Air has taken an 8-4 lead here, and there was a lot of action in that inning. Pat, I mean,
that's going to take you a while to add all those numbers.
I'm trying to look that up. You look that up on your fancy phone with the stats fact that you have. I love it. I love it.
This looks like, well, so Noah gave up 4 hits that inning. Worked 2/3 of an inning, and then Ethan gave up 2 hits in a third of an inning and had a strikeout. So Noah was able to. Looked like he was charged with 5 runs.
So I have 5 hits that inning, but there was hit by pitch also, and ironically, that inning started off with a bunt early in the inning that was beautiful. You know, and that really.
Yeah, there was 2 bunts right in a row.
Yes.
Runners at first and second on that second bunt. Noah was able to make a play there, and then the wheels fell off for a few batters.
So that was an inning where there was a beautiful play at third to get the 1 runner out, and if that wasn't made, that could have been an even bigger inning.
Yeah.
You know? So now, with your coaching experience, you're getting down to 4th and, 3rd, 4th, 5th pitchers at the end of games. How deep are these teams with pitching?
Well, we're going to find out. That's for sure. But I will say we had a pitcher's duel at the beginning.
Yeah.
Pitcher's duel through 4 or 5 innings, and now we've had some runs scoring. And like you said, pitchers have been getting tired at the end of the outings, and now we've gotten to the rest of the bullpen. So Jalen Domenico is going to be back on the mound after getting out of the 5th inning. Excuse me.
You're good. I'm just sliding my score card over here.
And he's going to face Jackson Wheeler.
So Jackson is 1 for 3.
He's leading the team in doubles with 5.
Jackson had a really good single earlier in the game. Then when he was on base, he was being aggressive going to third and barely got thrown out.
Well, Jalen did not want this to happen. 3-0 count.
No, you don't want
to getting a 4-run lead. So
yeah.
Leadoff walk.
Leadoff walk for Jackson Wheeler. It's exactly what they need.
Yeah, Patterson-Mill's going to need some base runners to win this game.
So you got a new, you got to see what this pitcher can do now.
Yeah, you can't expand the zone until he proves he can throw strikes.
I meant to ask you this earlier when you mentioned learning teams. Do you see the conference teams twice, once home and away in baseball?
Yeah, if you, all the schools are in a either upper or the lower division, and these are the upper. These two teams are both in the upper division. So this is I believe the last game of seeing everybody one time, if I'm not mistaken. So you'll see everybody again. So it's interesting, one time through, if you're really successful, you get all the good pitchers the next time through. The top starters, you try to get lined up.
That's a hard hit ball, just foul.
Watch out, cameraman down there, left field line.
So these two teams will not see each other in the postseason because Bel Air is a larger school, and Patterson Mill's a smaller school.
That's correct.
And for those of you that may or may not know, it's been many years where it's open playoff format, so everybody makes the playoffs in all the sports except for football. And, you know, it's a little bit of luck of the draw, who you draw the first round. So there's a good ball that could be our first double play ball. Yep, that was a great turn from our
5-4-3 double play.
Third baseman. If they're still there, I'm going to let you help me out here. If that's still
Cooper Ray.
Cooper Ray's over there, and then who do we think we did that?
Ben
relay?
Boehm at second.
Okay.
Hayden Hankins at first.
So here we go with loving to see a double play. Ground ball to third base. Grab, throw over first. Good transfer from.
Good stretch by Hayden Hankins too.
Yeah, he had to reach a little bit into the outfield to get that. I don't know if you've ever played first base either, but scooping that ball, stretching, all the different things that they have to do.
Yeah, first base is not just somebody you can stick over there.
Yeah. I'm a big pro fan, and I watch the thoughts about minor leaguers, and they say, you know, the guys at the end, there you go. Is that fair? No, just foul.
How big would that double play was if that would have been fair?
Yes. And I've seen a lot of people that they say they can't quite make it as a third baseman. We're going to move you to first. Doesn't mean they're a bad infielder. It just means the hot corner at third base is a little bit tougher and, you know, slightly different athlete.
Get a little more time over at first if you field a ground ball.
Mm-hmm. And obviously the third baseman make a lot more throws than a first baseman does. So, you know, you like that person at third base that has that accurate gun of an arm.
Yeah, a lot of times, too, you're going to, if there's two prospects, you know, that are both third basemen, one might have to move to make room for the other.
Mm-hmm. So I think that was
Mike Hemmel.
Mike Hemmel, our original pitcher, who got a walk there. And I have Chase Johusky coming up here. And Chase has had an interesting day. He got on by an error. He got on by a walk and a steal. And then he struck out. So been on base twice. One's with a walk and one's with an error.
And if you're Bel Air, you're just counting the outs. You want to try to get 4 outs before Patterson-Mill can get 4 runs. If you're a base runner now, you can't advance unless you are sure you can get there.
Yes.
So Mike, great decision.
Cannot make it out on the bases.
Ben Sellers did a great job blocking the ball.
Ben's had a very solid game behind the plate there.
And just what we talked about.
Great backup.
I don't think Coach Roseland's going to be too happy about that one, though.
Mm-mm.
All right, so Jalen, he is 2-0 count here. At 3-0, Chase is probably taking here, we talked about earlier, needing some base runners in order to be able to get 4 runs back.
Yeah, you got to get 1 before you can get 2, let alone 4. So we have Ethan Schertzer up the plate here. And Ethan has popped out, walked, and been hit by a pitch, and he scored a run. Got a little conference at the mound here.
Coach Andrew's going to go out, talk to Jalen. And actually, Coach Roseland's going to go talk to Ethan.
Big part of the game right here. Patterson-Mill would obviously like to get a run or 2 here to get back in this game.
Scratch and claw.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to get a big 4 inning in the last inning. Get what you can now. And again, we talked about the 3rd and 4th pitchers, how that impacts things.
I was looking to see if Bel Air was warming anybody up. Didn't look like it. Not sure who they'd go to next. There's not a strike. We're at a different vantage point than I'm used to over here.
Inside,
It's going to be
2-0.
2-0. I'm going to guess he's taking.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's thrown, what, maybe 10 straight balls?
Yeah. You'd think that possibly, I mean, there are 2 outs. So the coach is thinking, get
He's
one.
hoping to get out. Yeah, he's hoping to get out of the inning.
And
Jalen's just going to try to get a strike here. And there it is.
There it is. That was important.
Now Ethan's got to be ready to hit. 3-1 count.
Yeah, you have two schools of thought here. Some people say do you like this take, but that was a high strike there. But he just got the edge of the strike zone. So now the runners will be moving. Any kind of hit would probably score a run. Oh,
And he got hit by a pitch.
yeah.
Well, now the tying run comes.
I think that might have, the coach is saying, did that hit the bat? Because I heard a clink noise. Did you hear the clink?
I did not, but I'm not saying it didn't happen. It looked very similar to the play that happened earlier.
So I don't hear it great as I'm getting older, but I heard a noise.
Well, here's the thing. I look at the base runner who was up to bat, Ethan. Is he shaking his hand? Because he's not shaking his hand.
Right.
So that's probably a good sign that here's the replay.
Let's see here. See if he got the bat near the ball. See, that was right near the butt of the bat again.
It's tough to see.
Yeah, you're right. It was very similar to the previous time that happened. But I don't think the coach is going to get that call right now.
I'll have to ask him after the game if it was really hit by pitch or not. We got another pitching change here.
Well, man, talk about
Zach Ray. Zach Ray is now coming in. We had both Ray brothers. Cooper was his brother, pitched earlier. Zach Ray now, who also plays volleyball for 4 years. He's a 2-time state volleyball champion.
So I'm going to have a little disclaimer here. Don Morrison, filling in for, great announcer. Don, I am doing my best on this score sheet, but
You're going to turn that in. You're going to submit that to Don, right?
And I don't know, Pat, you've done this a lot longer, but this many pitching changes, this many position changes, this seems like a lot.
This is a lot.
Okay.
This is usually you're going to go through 2 or 3 pitchers at the most.
Don would probably be able to keep up with this, and I give myself a B plus so far, especially with your assistance, but Don would probably have an A plus.
So this is the 4th pitcher for the Bobcats. Started with Cole Saxon, went to Cooper Ray, then Jalen Domenico, and now we have Zach Ray.
And we have had, I want to say, at least 3 players on each team that have played 2 to 3 positions already. There have been some movement.
Yes.
Like one of the players that you said, the pitcher, you said he was at shortstop at one point. He was at second base at one point. These coaches are very smart, keeping up with the lineup card themselves. I mean,
Well, typically you got maybe 9 or 10 guys, and you're trying to keep them in the lineup and move them around as much as you can.
mm-hmm.
And hopefully they're not learning 3 or 4 positions, maybe just 1 or 2. So you got to bounce different guys around.
So Sam Levine, opportunity
Sam
here,
Lever.
but he popped it up right away, and
they
our center
stranded
fielder
again.
catches it. So I'm a little surprised swinging at the first pitch with a new pitcher coming in, but different people have different schools of thoughts on that, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Just watching Coach Rosen walk down the line frustrated.
He's getting very frustrated, I'm sure. But
And that's 3 times the
Yes.
Huskies have left the bases loaded, I believe. So
yeah, they've had plenty opportunity to. So
well, we're going to head to the 7th. The Bobcats have a 4-run lead, 8-4.
yeah,
and Ethan Schertz is going to come back on the mound after finishing last inning.
they're going to try to tack on, obviously. But
Yeah, you can see 4 runs may not be enough. They just left the bases loaded again.
mm-hmm. Well, I'm a little surprised how many runners Patterson Mills left on the base this game. A little bit of guts on the Bel Air defense and the pitching, getting out of some innings. We saw a handful. We saw a handful of high strikeouts get them out of positions for Bel Air. We saw some really good defensive plays made, but a little bit of bad luck. I mean, Patterson Mill has had a ton of base runners.
Yeah, Aiden Myers has been left on twice. Ethan Church has been on base twice, left on base. Corey Gibson twice. Sam Lever. So.
Well, you've been doing this a long time, Pat. I say baseball, all sports are a little bit of luck involved and bad luck. You know, I watched my Baltimore Orioles go to the ALCS during a good run of years, and they played the Kansas City Royals. And I think Kansas City averaged about 3 or 4 hits per game, and they beat us.
Well,
and
they stole bases. They played small
yes,
ball.
They played small ball.
And in the playoffs, when you're going against good pitching, think about the pitchers you go up against in Major League Baseball playoffs. I mean, they're usually elite #1 starters. So
yes, but the other part that I'm getting to with the good luck and bad luck is you can have a game where you hit 5 screaming line drives right at people with the people on the base. The other team hits 3 CNI ground balls and a bloop, and they score 3 runs. So there is a little bit of good luck and bad luck to it, but being opportunistic is part of the game.
absolutely.
And Bel Air has been opportunistic today, and I don't know that Patterson Mill has done enough of that so far.
And Jalen's going to lead off the inning.
Yeah. Jalen's
So we got 9-1-2 again. So Bel Air got through their lineup. They're going to get to the top of the lineup again.
Jalen has only been on base 1 time, and that was the bunt single.
2-1 count.
It's a good eye.
Ethan's got to keep this damage where they only have to get 4 runs to tie. Like you said before, Bel Air's trying to get some
Long
insurance.
foul ball there. It's a good thing they have a line of trees down there, Pat, or there would be more balls in backyards.
Well, they got the net now, so.
So which of the players that have to chase the balls, it's usually the freshmen and sophomores on the bench, right?
Well, yeah, but like we talked about earlier, a lot of times the freshmen and sophomores are either playing or they're on JV. So
right. I'm just,
maybe you draw a number.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
You take a number and.
I just know the seniors aren't. They're like, go ahead, underclassmen, you go get that ball.
On a good team, they would, though. On a good team. Everybody pitches in. Jalen worked the count full. Trying to be a leadoff hitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to walk.
See if Coach Andrews tries to get this 1 run or wants to go for a big inning.
Right. And this is only a 4-run game, so you can definitely steal without the other team being mad like they,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, especially, too, we just had the bases loaded.
Yeah.
So the tying run was up. So.
Could happen again. High.
Curveball's a little out of the zone.
So we're back to our
Outside.
leadoff batter here, Will Carrier, who has flied out twice, struck out and grounded out. One of his times, though, he hit the ball well on the ground. One of his flyouts was really hard hit, and one of his ground outs, he hit the ball hard, but force out, you know, unfortunately.
This is the first time, too, Patterson Mills had a right-handed pitcher up
Yeah.
on the mound with a runner at first. So a little bit more difficult for Ethan to hold Jalen close. He's got a good lead.
Yeah, he's gone. And then the batter wisely took that pitch. He knew his teammate had that base stolen. Sometimes I get a little frustrated, and I know managers do too, when the person's given the green light and then the batter's swinging at a ball.
And fouls it off, and they
Yeah.
got to start all over again.
Yes. I've seen Cedric Mullins make a disgruntled face multiple times during Oriole games when his teammates have done that. That's why a good number 2 batter, you know, is important too. So that should be in there, third.
It's going to be a wild pitch. Yep.
So the last thing they want to do is give up another insurance run.
And he doesn't need a base hit now to score.
Yeah.
I guess Coach Rosen's going to play the infield back. Try not to give up a big inning.
With a leadoff batter, would he bunt him in? But that's going to hold him.
That's going to be only spot other than third that the runner had to stay.
Yeah.
It's a big out. We still got to get 2 more.
Well, we got, I think we have
Aiden Hankins.
Aiden Hankins up now.
Batting in the 2 spot. Will Hyde was originally in the 2 spot to start the game.
Good eye there.
This is where you need a strikeout.
Yeah.
Ethan's probably thinking need very soft contact or a strikeout. Aiden doing everything he can.
I think that might have caught.
Yeah, it's a ball.
I'm getting a little confused by the way the umpire makes the noise.
He's a little late. Danny likes to delay his call, Danny Pierce. If you can't hear him.
That's up the middle. That should definitely score the run.
It's a good play, though.
That was a very good play.
Chase Jahusky, backhand play.
So Jalen scores.
Aiden does get the RBI.
So now you got 2 outs and nobody on. Talon Johns is up, and he has walked twice and struck out and fouled out. Yeah. Flew out, I meant to say.
Start him off with the curveball, looked like.
Seeing some of the, I see some of the athletes from other sports trickling in here at Patterson Mill to support their schoolmates. And I'd always love to see that.
And as the season goes on, you know, some sports will be winding down and the playoffs will start to begin. So all the home games, you get a ton of student support. Just missed off the plate. 2-1 count. Three one.
So you want to put this ball in play right now, Pat. That's the first one back right at the backstop right there, and fans did a pretty good job of not flinching. I will say one thing nice about this Patterson Mill community, and I know a lot of people from this area. The parents and the students really support each other's teams very well. You know, I know that you get a lot of people coming to games.
I definitely think it helps too, a smaller community, but it is great to see. It's always been that way.
Ball 4. So now we're going to bring up our cleanup hitter again, but I don't think it is him. So that was Talon that just walked. So it's
Zach Ray's at the plate.
Yeah, Zach Ray's in for
the
Cam.
pitcher. I believe he's now the pitcher. And the walk earlier this inning advanced on a steal and a wild pitch.
And that's a really high pop up, and is that what they call no man's land? But what a great
Aiden
play.
Myers.
Wow.
Aiden Myers with the catch, diving catch.
That is a highlight reel there. So unless Patterson Mill makes a great comeback here, you see the coach over here giving a little pep talk to the team.
Yeah, he does that every inning.
But this one looks a little bit more serious. Okay, guys, we're down 5 runs. Let's have some good at-bats here.
Yeah, sometimes as a coach, you're telling the kids they need to take a strike. You know, if you're down, you need base runners, so you got to make the pitcher work. So it's going to be important for Patterson Mill to get base runners and for Cooper to not let them happen. That's Zach Ray, actually. Sorry. I think they made some changes to get back some defensive players, but we're not going to be able to figure that out, I don't think.
Cool. So, so now you need a huge rally here, and You know, I've seen huge rallies before.
Well, Bel Air scored 5 runs in the 6th.
Right.
So Patterson Mill's got to answer it in order to keep this game going. But it looks like Coach Rosen is going to, the courtesy runner, Drew Szymanski, is going to be hitting in the first spot of the lineup.
So I should have
Corey Gibson, 9, and this is going to be Drew Szymanski's batting from the left side.
Got the wind kicking up here a little bit on the field, blowing the.
It's definitely cooled
dirt
off.
across.
Winds picked up.
I think we've dropped 20 degrees since this game started. My wife would say it's my own fault for wearing shorts to the game, so.
I'm in the same boat.
We don't listen.
Well, Cooper started him off the stripe, and now he's throwing 2 balls. So.
Yeah, this is you need some patient at bats here, but he went.
Made a foul tip.
That was a good pitch. So you got 2-2 count here. Bottom of the 7th inning. That's a weird ball. Excellent job with the first baseman. Wow.
Aiden Hankins.
That looked like a knuckleball hit ball.
Yeah, I don't think the second baseman would have been able to get there, so it was a good play by Aiden to step in front. Now Travis Lowy, the leadoff batter. It's going to come up. Patterson Mill, 2 outs to work with. Bobcats, 2 outs to finish the game.
Got a different look here to this pitcher. He's a tall, lanky-looking pitcher here. That arm, the way he throws that ball with a little bit of a sling.
Yeah, he's a senior, Zach. Says he has a 2.23 ERA.
Wow.
He has 2 wins over Perry Hall and North Hartford on the season.
That's great that they have this depth. Got head on the batter here now. And try to finish him off. So how much you miss coaching, Pat?
Oh, I miss coaching tremendously. Obviously, the time commitment right now with 3 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
It's really challenging to be able to see all the kids play. So that's
struck him out.
That's why.
No trick to my bad.
2-2 count.
Your kids play any sports?
Yes, too many. Too many. They play soccer, basketball, lacrosse. They horseback ride.
Oh, that was an inside pitch.
3-2 count. My little one is going to start golf, so we're going to start golfing this year. Got our clubs a couple weeks ago. Travis is trying to get on base here. 3-2 count.
It could. No, I thought it was going to drop for a second there, but 2 down to their last batter here.
Jalen, good play in the outfield.
Yeah.
Never take anything for granted.
Been very steady out there. You really haven't seen much problems in the outfield play today on either team.
No, and it's very windy, so it could be challenging. Aiden had the ball over in the right field, I believe. The left fielder ball got up there. Aiden Myers, probably Patterson Mill's best hitter of the day.
Yeah.
Going to try not to make the final out.
Yeah, he's 3 for 4.
One count.
He went down and got that one. It's a slow hit
He's
ball,
fast.
so
He's
let's
fast.
see.
Safe.
He's safe. That's a single. 4 for 5 day. That's impressive.
Yeah, he busts it down the line every single time. Something as a coach you'd love to see, and you hope it is contagious with your players.
Well, and it's hard as a coach to get your fielders to do this, but I really think the only chance the shortstop had there is if he would have charged the ball, which also makes it a tougher play to make, fielding.
Yeah.
But he wasn't going to get him waiting back for that ball.
Yeah, he needed to charge it, and I think he took an extra
He did a little
touch of the glove, yeah.
Is that the right term that I used to hear the old announcers say, a crow hop? Like
yeah.
he used to.
They now, a little bit different teaching method, but it's similar.
I'm showing my age, Pat.
All right, well, Patterson Mill's down to the last strike.
I'm going all the way back to Chuck Thompson and Charlie Ekman, and you're too young to probably even know who they are.
I've heard some highlights.
Should be an inning ground ball over first base.
And that's the ball game.
And that is the ball game, folks. So I'm going to let Pat help me get up some of these final results on any hits and runs for each team, and strikeouts or anything else. But we do have a final score here of, as you see, the teams. The teams are shaking hands right now, and you have a 9-4 final here. What are your final thoughts about this game, other than the fact that I think it should have been a closer game if there wasn't so many runners left on base?
Yeah, through 4 innings, it was a pitcher's duel. 1-1 game, and then both pitchers struggled and opened it up. So we're going to go through some stats for the game. So according to my stat sheet, I got 9 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for Bel Air. Patterson Mill, 4 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. And going through some of the pitchers, the Bel Air Bobcats started with Cole Saxon, who went 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Cooper Ray, 2/3 of an inning, 1 run earned, walk and a strikeout. Jalen came in, got out of that inning, and then went 2/3. So 1 inning total, 3 walks. And then Zach Ray finished it out with just giving up 1 hit. So it looks like Jalen, I believe, is going to be the winning pitcher, and Zach will not get a save because it was not a save situation, if I'm not mistaken.
So I have Patterson Mill dropping to 8-4 for the season, and I have Bel Air improving to 5-7 for the season. A lot of base runners in this game in my mind. There was walks, there was hit by pitch, there was singles, doubles. Saw some really good fielding plays. I particularly like the throw out at third base, and the pitcher pouncing off the mound and getting a runner at third base.
Yeah, that was probably the 2 defensive highlights. We had Noah Thomas, the pitcher, throwing a guy out, bunting, trying to advance, move the runners up in first and second, and then the right fielder for Bel Air. What a great throw he made, Ethan Smedley. And then the third baseman just being able to catch and still make that tag.
We had a throw out at home, too.
Yes.
Forced play at home. That was outstanding. So, again.
We had a tag play. Yeah,
yes. Again, folks, that was a very good, entertaining game. Final score, Bel Air 9, Patterson Mill 4. Thank you, Pat, for filling in today. It was wonderful calling the game with you.
I appreciate it.
And look forward to maybe having you back again. So thank you, fans. Tune in for our next telecast. Take care.